Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mr. E Crimecast. I am Mr. E. This is Mrs. E. And we've got a couple of guests today. I'd like to welcome back Auntie to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Auntie. And then we'd like to welcome a new special guest who might look familiar to you if you've been on some of our previous episodes. Olivia B. Welcome to the show, Olivia B.
Thank you very much.
Well, good. We've got a great group here today. We're excited to talk to everybody, and also excited to see everybody already in the chat. And good afternoon to everybody there. I'd like to say hello to Tit for Tat, first of all, Little Miss Sharon. Hello from Australia. Yeah, we've had a few folks from Australia reaching out in the comments since the last episode, and I just wanted to point out Tit for Tat, I think, is our newest member. Am I correct about that?
Yes, and also I love the in parentheses.
Yes, and not the real Nancy Grace. So just to clarify, there was some confusion, I think, on the last show. So, we'd like to welcome everybody here. Okay, seeing some new people that I haven't always seen. We were kind of hoping by doing maybe an earlier show, we'd reach some folks that normally aren't available at night, but that have been interested in talking with us and joining us here. But I'm seeing some regulars that have been joining us for a bit as well. Good afternoon, Sue. Welcome to the show. Wow, it's really been here already. Quite a few folks.
We've got people from Norway. How fun!
Hello,
hi, Stella.
Stella. Welcome from Norway.
Oh, Maui girl's here too.
Little Miss Sharon says it's 5:20 in Australia. Is that right?
Sorry, we're going to get our times where we can.
You're an early riser there in Australia. So
be available to everyone.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So
Hippie Grandma, Banana Pants. That's a great name. Orange Wedge. We got a lot of food today.
Yeah. Well, wow. So already quite a few folks are joining us here. So we just for any of you that are new to our channel, I know we've had a lot of new subscribers since the last time we were on. And Celestial Sky.
No, Marmy just became a member. Marmy, thank you. You sweet thing. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Marmy. We appreciate you joining on with us here. And we really do appreciate it. Thanks so much. And if you are new to the channel, or if maybe last episode was your first introduction to us, do like to kind of give you an idea of what you can expect from our approach to the show, why we started this whole thing in the first place. We started the channel about a month ago now, and we live in the community where Sebastian Rogers went missing. Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old boy. He has multiple special needs, including autism. We have a son with autism, so when this child went missing in our community, of course, that caught our attention. In the first few hours, we were hopeful that, like, maybe he had gone to a favorite playground or would be found at a store, something along those lines. And then that didn't happen. And days started to go by, and the community really rallied around Sebastian and his family. An unbelievable search, unlike anything I've ever seen in Middle Tennessee happened. I mean, they brought in all kinds of agencies, policemen, horseback, helicopters, drones, all kinds of volunteer organizations, hundreds of local volunteers. I mean, the outpouring to search for him was enormous. And, so having Sebastian with autism, our son with autism, it's one of our fears. We've had our child, just leave our house before. We recovered him shortly, but even in a 15-minute span, it's terrifying when something like that happens. And any of you, I know a lot of you probably, or not a lot, there are many of you out there that are drawn to this story because you have a special needs child and have a similar type of fear like that. And anyway, after a couple of days, 3-4 days go by, there were various indicators that this may be more than just a missing person, that there might be foul play involved. And most of that is due to the actions of the parents and some of the inconsistencies, some of the evidence that's emerged the weeks following. And at this point, it's a tremendous mystery, lots of theories. And we were having these discussions as a couple and constantly talking about the videos and the different theories we had, and having these discussions. And we thought we didn't really know of a place out there where that was having discussions quite like we were. And so we kind of talked about, well, why don't we just start having these discussions on a YouTube channel? And we kind of, kicked that idea around for a while, and then did it. And at first we were talking to a couple of people, and somewhere around our fourth or fifth episode, lots of you found us, and it's been humbling. I never would have expected that kind of community that we've had gather here.
I know. It's amazing.
It's really amazing. And we've got such a thoughtful, bright, intellectual kind of audience that it's been. We do a pre-show, a plan of what we're going to do, but I almost look more forward to the thoughts that are going to come up in the chat, and the different theories, because so many of us care. Some of us want to find Sebastian, and if we can't find Sebastian, we want to find justice for Sebastian. That's how we look at it. The child can't at this point defend himself. It's all up to us as a community to find him or the people that have harmed him. So that's our approach, and we try to use logic and reason, and as much as possible ignore rumors. We try to focus on what we can verify, and that, because those rumors, 95% of them go nowhere, and end up being not true at all. So that's sort of our approach here. So that's kind of where we are. Unfortunately, we're almost at 4 months with Sebastian still missing. But there is a little bit of good news, it seems. But before we get into that, I just want to point out to you our Olivia B, who's joining us for the first time today. She's been a moderator with our channel for quite a while, maybe about the last 8 or 9.
She
very early on.
I think Olivia, remind me. I think you reached out after we had that video get really popular, and we didn't know what we were doing. And she said, "Hey, you might need a moderator."
Yes, that was right.
And we really did. I didn't realize how much we would need a moderator. You have really done an incredible job. I get the purpose of the moderators now. A lot of the kind of troll stuff I never even see. You're so great about kind of protecting the chat from all of that. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate that.
Oh, for asking for everybody's names again. Could you give everybody's names out again?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So I am Mr. E. Mrs. E is my wife here beside me, waving to you right now. That is Aunt E. And joining us for the first time here, at least live, is Olivia B. And Olivia, I know you have a huge interest in true crime and are looking to start your own.
She's already started her own channel. She's going to be going live soon.
Okay, yes, you've got a channel started, and have you? So do you mind to tell us a little bit about where people can find you, and what your approach is going to be?
Yes, I will post it in the comments, but my handle is at OliviaB20. And just recently I started getting active on my channel, and I'm really into true crime and missing children. And so, yes, I'm getting started on that. It's fairly new as far as the posts go. And so, yeah, I'm going to go live soon, and I'm just happy to be here.
Okay, great. Well, make sure you let us know when you've got a date so we can make sure we catch it live. We'd be happy to do that. And was there a particular case that caught your attention, that got you first interested? Was it the Sebastian case or another one?
No, it's been, I think the main one that sticks out is Summer Wells, of course.
Right.
And Gannon Stauk, that was a big one. I'm friends with his mother, and well, not close friends, but we during the trial and everything. And so, yeah, that one was a really big one for me as well.
I know a lot of folks that are, on our channel. The Summer Wells was a big one for them. I was listening to one of the older interviews that the lab had done with Don Wells, and it is a really interesting case. We may cover that ourselves at some point, because it's similar to this case, and I think kids grab all of our attention, right? When these
You're
things
cutting
happen.
out just a little.
Oh, and so are you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why we're having that trouble today. Hopefully, sometimes when I go back to listen to the show, we'll have that happen for a few minutes, and then it kind of clears up, and we're okay. Hopefully that'll be the case today. We must have something wrong with a particular wire somewhere, I'm guessing. Well, great. Well, what we're planning on doing today was first we want to start with the title of this topic, which was really the reason we thought we should start discussing this. Were the new leads, and if you don't know what I'm talking about,
I haven't gotten that ready yet because we've been dealing with a very disgusting person in chat.
That's too bad. Well,
we never have that, and that, we never have that. Well, and actually, Olivia would know better, right? I never see it.
Yes, he was here last time. The fake Seth Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so strange.
Yeah, I deleted a comment too.
I blocked 2 of them so far. So.
Okay.
Oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah,
it just disgusting stuff. But anyway, I will work on getting this set up if you want to set it up.
Sure. So this was one of those kind of things where if you blink, you miss it kind of deal. Nick Barris did, typical kind of report, sort of, about Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers. If you're not familiar with Nick Barris, he's really not the only, but he's of the mainstream local news reporters. He's doing the most on the Sebastian Rogers story and disappearance. Most other local news aren't really covering it to any degree. Nick does have a connection somewhere, and
whoops, sorry, that's wrong. Okay, sorry.
Nick does somewhere have a local connection with the police, so they regularly give him news, and so they keep him updated. Whatever we think of the reports that he gives, that's his source. That it's somebody on the police department. They seem to trust him and regularly, if they're going to give a tip to someone in the mainstream media, that's who they seem to choose to give it to. And Nick's a longtime reporter in Nashville. He's covered all kinds of criminal types of stories. So he did just a quick little update on Summer Wells and Sebastian, and
what the link I have is right to their page. So you're going to have to give me a minute to find it from YouTube, because this is not, that's not what we wanted.
Oh, I see.
Did somebody ban Maui Girl? I think it was an accident.
That was an accident.
Can somebody undo it?
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
That was an accident. I accidentally did that. I can, let me see, do it.
These things sometimes, just so you guys know in the chat, these things move so fast. Sometimes we hit the wrong person.
Yeah, it's really easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's fixed now.
I wonder what the
sorry about that, Maui Girl. We actually love you very much, and I'm sorry.
So we're receiving requests to block fake Trev and fake Tony. Maybe we already got them.
I got the Trev.
I don't know if
I got Tony.
Okay.
Well, what's funny is that, up until now, we really haven't had a whole lot of this.
No, not like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't guess I quite get the amusement in something like that.
Here's another one. I got him.
Oh, my stars. You know what? I'm going to make this subscribers only. That will help a little bit, I think.
Yes, I think that would be great.
We'll just do that today.
Okay.
And
Auntie E, can you look up the Nick Barris interview? The one I have is going straight to News Channel 5, and it's got a big ad in front of it. And I was trying to just do it straight from YouTube.
Okay, hang on.
Let me see if it will make a difference. Sorry, guys. I know that this is not that kind of crass behavior we don't appreciate. So, let's see.
I don't know what
Just
kind of
keep
sick
going.
individual would try to make fun of a little boy that's missing either. How ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some gross people in the world, no doubt.
I have to do some adjustments here on this live. So let's see what I can do here.
Okay, so while she's doing that, I'll just skip actually to a different thing I just wanted to mention anyway. It's just kind of a small update that I don't know if any of you had seen it, versus that maybe there were reports that perhaps Katie had purchased a new car and gotten rid of her Infinity. That was one of those kind of rumors or reports that was out there for a bit, and that is not true. So Duchess has confirmed, and Duchess is a YouTuber that has some sort of relationship with the Proudfoots. She was the first person that they did any kind of interview with, even before that Katie Thompson interview. Holly Thompson interview. Katie, I'm getting my name. Like Mrs. Z always says, I'm terrible with the names. But Holly Thompson interview, that just did that a couple of days before. So she's been in touch with the Proudfoots. That car is not Katie's new car. It is a friend just visiting, and so anyway, the reason that had got some people's attention was, oh no, did she get rid of that vehicle that may have had some evidence and doesn't. Well, she may have gotten rid of the vehicle, but that car in the driveway is someone else's.
I just wanted you to see that. Looks like Thor's back.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Okay. I just texted you the link.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I apologize, guys. A little bit distracting. Okay.
I found it.
Okay, well, this is a short, but that's okay. It'll work.
Yeah, it's just the main part.
Hold on. I have to. Let's see. Okay. Well, I have to think that if we're getting a lot of trolls, we must be doing something right. Right?
Is that just a rite of passage? YouTuber? Is that what it is? It's just kind of part of the deal.
Okay, guys. Let's do that.
I guess it is.
Okay.
And guys, we are trying to block these fake people as soon as we can. So just bear with us until we can get them all blocked.
Please block fake Seth on top.
I think he's already blocked.
Yes, I got him. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So are we now at subscribers only? Is that where we are at the moment?
Subscribers only, and you have to be a subscriber for at least 20 minutes before you can even write anything. So it's kind of...
Yeah, at least there's got to be some effort there. Right?
Yeah, there's got to be some effort. Maybe they'll get bored after 20 minutes.
I'm going to guess that they don't have that attention span.
Right. Well, at any rate, I'm going to go over here and we're going to play this and get back to work and not worry about these fools. Okay. Let's see. How do I start it over? Oh,
there's another one. We're not hearing it, guys.
Oh, you're not?
No, sound is not coming through.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah, you can hear a very, very low murmur.
Okay.
I could do the phone thing.
Yeah, if you want to do the phone thing.
I could do it that way.
You've got it pulled up. I guess we'll just do the phone thing because our tech guy is on a date. So let's see. I'm not sure why it's not working. Let me just see what our settings are. If you guys can handle the other stuff.
Okay, so if I hold up here and do it that way, would that work? Let me make sure my volume's up. You just tell me when to do this.
We're continuing to block, so just be patient.
Still more?
Yes.
Oh, we're just being attacked.
Okay.
That must mean that we're getting out there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I appreciate everyone's patience with us while we kind of deal with that. So
You gonna do a little JLR work where you hold it up to the?
I am going to do the JLR technique here.
Okay. Guys,
maybe,
we apologize.
Maybe that's why he does that. Maybe it's more foolproof.
And Mrs. E, did you see the note from the Real Me Too?
Hi, the Real Me Too. Okay. Okay, Betty. I think Betty's confused about where we live. So I will, let's see. I will email her.
Yes.
So I think she thinks we're in Memphis. So we're not. Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's see. I don't understand. Obviously, this is a calculated attack by a few people.
Seems to be. We must have touched a nerve somewhere. By not sure why.
Okay, but at any rate, we're gonna go ahead and let's see. I'm gonna put up just us for a second so that Mr. E can hold that up to the camera. Sorry, guys, that the tech's not working today.
So this is Nick Barris from WSMV from 3 days ago. And the part about the new leads is really towards the end. So this is about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. You can't even hear it.
It was 3 years ago this month that
can't really hear it, guys.
You can't hear it.
No? Okay.
That's okay. So why don't you guys talk about something else and I'll work on the tech. How's that sound? What a day, guys.
I know.
Kind of makes you want to go, hey, maybe we should just call it a day and start over later.
You can't pull it up.
I can try to share it if you want. I can try to pull it up.
No, it's I know there's some discussion on this about how old this is. This is 3 days ago.
Yeah, this maybe not the one you pulled up. The one we were talking about.
The one I sent to you is from 3 days ago because it was from WSMV's website.
Well, let me just try to do it from WSMV's website. Let me just try that and see if I can figure out what the issue is. And I'll just show everybody that this is from 3 days ago so that there's no confusion, so no one thinks that we're trying to mislead them.
Yeah, I think the reason maybe that people are thinking it's old is that he refers to a sighting in East Tennessee, but he's not. He means a second sighting.
Yes, he means a second sighting.
I think that's why people are getting confused about how old this is. That's my guess is why that's out there.
And he does use some old footage too.
He does.
From a previous interview.
Yes, from Craddock, I think.
Yeah, from Sheriff.
There we go.
Okay, so this is from the News Channel 5 website, and as you can see right here, guys, it says June 20th, 2024. So that would be 3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago. But I think a lot of us kind of missed this because he kind of just throws this on at the end. But it's significant.
I think there's some interesting things to discuss about this actually coming out when it has. So I think I'd like to discuss that.
I'm still checking the settings here to make sure the audio's. I just don't understand why the audio is not loud. So maybe it's I'm going to go ahead and try to play it. Just let me know. It's going to have an ad, guys. So I'm so sorry. I can't do anything about it.
We can't hear the ad.
Okay. So that means, so that we're not going to be able to hear it then, guys. I'm not sure what to do. Let me try. Let's see. Sometimes this helps. Okay. Let's see. Let me try one more time. Can you hear it now?
Can't hear anything right now.
Nope.
All we see is you guys.
I don't know. Can you hear us?
Make sure you are sharing audio.
Okay, so hold on. I'm going to turn that off. That's not going to work either.
Somebody said make sure you're sharing the audio.
I am. I'm doing everything I normally do. Like I said, our tech guy
the volume on the corner had an X on it.
The volume on the corner. Okay. We might be getting somewhere. Oh, right here?
We can't see anything. It's not up yet.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me try. I'll try again. I apologize. Let's see.
I could read the article.
Yeah, just read the article.
They have it. They have the same story, just in written form. So let me pull that up.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Anything?
No. Have you got to click on the volume? The icon.
It just turns that off. So but like I said, our tech guys, there's no chance of getting that fixed on this live stream. So you guys keep talking and I'll keep working.
What I'll do, I'll just read. You saw you can see the website at least. So I guess if you want to see the audio and the video together, you'll be able to do that. But I'm just going to read what his article that he wrote that went with this. It's basically the same audio. Missing children in Tennessee, and sadly, some of the cases are slowly growing cold with no new leads. Summer Wells, who disappeared 3 years ago this month, and her sad case is similar to that of Sebastian Rogers. Typically, a case is not considered closed until several years after a child goes missing. But for Summer and Sebastian, Amber Alerts remain active, and so do the efforts to find them both. It was 3 years ago this month that 5-year-old Summer vanished from her home in Hawkins County in East Tennessee. That is a long time for a missing child. The longer you go, the less likely you will have a successful recovery. About 1% of the children survive longer than 24 hours. We hope that Summer Wells will be that 1%er. She's going to be a 1%er. That was Margie Quinn talking in the days after Summer disappeared. Quinn had headed up the TBI's Amber Alert program and says time matters. We saw the massive search effort firsthand as Sky 5 flew over crews on the ground. Nothing was ever found, and to date, more than 6,000 tips called into the TBI have produced no leads. Most agree it's unlikely Summer just vanished or wandered away and was more likely the victim of foul play. Neighbors are going to be interviewed. Sex offenders in the area will be interviewed. Anybody with likelihood to commit this type of crime, said TBI Special Agent Jeff Loquist in 2021. Authorities have done the same in the Sebastian Rogers case. The 15-year-old vanished more than nearly 4 months ago from his Hendersonville home. In that case, 2 investigators think it's unlikely the teen with autism just wandered away on his own with little or no scent detected by canines. We have not cleared anyone, but we have no evidence to support foul play, said Sumner County Sheriff's investigator Eric Craddock. Yet, anyway. However, those close to the case say that now is the most, I think he means those close to the case now say that that is the most likely scenario. Now, here's the part that got our attention too. Authorities are now looking into 2 new tips involving Sebastian, including another alleged sighting of someone who looked like him in East Tennessee. But to date, nothing has led to a credible lead. So this is 3 days ago. And I mean, there's other parts of this article that are interesting, of course. What Craddock has said, that is older, but 2 new leads. And the way that they say it, authorities are now looking into 2 new tips involving Sebastian, including another alleged sighting of someone who looked like him in East Tennessee. What do you think of that wording? Does that mean that one of the 2 new tips is an alleged sighting, or does that mean that
in addition?
That I've seen that discussed somewhat, or is that in addition to the 2 new tips?
I think it's in addition to. And I thought the way that Nick said it in the interview was they had 2 new leads and a possible sighting in East Tennessee.
That's the way I hear that too, but I understand if somebody thinks that it's there's 2 tips, one of which being a sighting. Either way, I think this could be potentially great news, of course, especially if it's a sighting that turns out to be accurate. Interesting that it's in East Tennessee again. Mm-hmm. I also think it's interesting that this was told to Nick Barris at all.
Well, that's my thing. I think that Nick has been a good go-between with the police department or the law enforcement that has dealt with this case. And in my opinion, I think that they possibly ask him to come out with the fact that there are 2 new tips or leads and a possible sighting. It may be just for theatrics. It might be for to try to draw out information from people. I don't know. I feel like there's a reason for it because of the timing.
Olivia B, what's your take on the Nick Barris report?
I think that he meant in addition to the new leads, and it sounds like he knows a little more than we do, and I think that what he's saying is that, I mean, I wish they would bring the sighting to the public so that we would be able to see, but it's interesting. It's very interesting that he, brings up East Tennessee, like you said. I'm curious to see what he says next.
Yeah, me too. And it's always tough when what I don't understand. I guess I do understand, but I'm wondering why they chose to use Nick as a go-between for that story and not just come out and do a press conference. Maybe they just, because it kind of slipped under the radar. I don't think a lot of us picked up on this until a day or two ago, because he doesn't even lead with it. It's kind of toward the end of his report. And they get tips all the time. So why are these 2 tips mentioned? They even have sightings pretty frequently. They often don't turn out to be anything. Right. But there's a lot of people that see a kid they think looks like Sebastian. They call it in, and it's not him. So why now? Why was this made? There's always a reason. There's always a reason that people leak something to a reporter. They like Auntie was saying, are they trying to keep the public engaged in some way? Are they trying to send a signal to one of the criminals or potential criminals involved? I mean, they even to mention the sighting of Sebastian is wild, because I don't know. It almost seems dangerous. If they don't think if they thought it was real,
right?
Then if they think it's real, then are they alerting to whoever has him that they know they have that he's in their hands?
I think it could be a host of reasons. I mean, it could be to get, like Crystal said, I sometimes think it's to stop the public's backlash and to quiet them down. It could have been for that reason. And that's a really good point. I think that the public has kind of started to get up in arms because of the lack of information from law enforcement. So I think it could be that. And
that's a good point too. Christy Clark says it had to be credible over all of the other tips that came in. That's a great point.
Right. So why? Because they get lots of tips.
That is a good point.
And actually, in the written article Nick does, he says it differently than he does in his audio. Like his video, he calls it a lead. In his article, he calls it a tip.
Interesting. And I wish we could play that, guys. I've texted our tech guy. I'm waiting to hear back.
Because after reading that's not word for word the video, but it's pretty close. It's the same sentiment.
Hey, Brian is going to be sending you something on email that's supposedly some kind of footage. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
I definitely saw that. We've had some really great comments, guys. I'm glad things have calmed down a bit. Auntie E, why don't you take the lead on some of these comments? Okay. And I'm going to step out and try to call our tech person, because it doesn't help our show if I can't show things.
Yeah,
so I'll be back. And Olivia, I think, had muted herself because there was some background noise. So Olivia, feel free to unmute yourself at any time and say something.
Let me see what
I'm here.
Comments.
Okay, great.
Let's see. Brianna Baker says, I think there's too many people involved and they're in different places at different times. And if something comes in, they won't be able to, they'll take off. They won't, if something comes in, they won't be able to take off. They'll take off, saying the people will take off. So yeah, there's a lot of people involved from different places. And with this kind of investigation, I don't know that it's truly from here or from Hendersonville to Memphis, but the Hendersonville area has a lot of people involved. And I don't know. I just don't know what I just feel like the police were involved in Nick sharing that information. A lot of things you see from Nick are genuine from him that he's investigated, he puts out there. But this one did not feel like that to me. This one felt a little different. It felt like a canned thing. What did you think, Mr. E? I think it just felt very artificial.
I'm not sure what you mean artificial. Like he didn't
just more canned, like the statement didn't seem like it had something that he found out about that he was investigating about. It just seemed a little more canned, like he was given this information. We need you to go on and report this.
Oh, I think that it's how it works with
yeah, it was a little nonchalant, you know.
Oh yeah, I think that he, I don't think he interjects a lot of his opinion. I think he's just reporting what he's told. And I mean, they're a credible source. They are the detectives. But here's something I thought reading that again. I want to go back and pull this up. So I think, isn't this contradictory? Authorities are now looking into 2 new tips involving Sebastian, including another alleged sighting of someone who looked like him in East Tennessee. But to date, nothing has led to a credible lead.
Well, yes, it's completely contradictory.
Is it a credible lead or is it not a credible lead? He's saying, right? So if it's not a credible lead, why are you reporting it at all? If it's a credible lead, then it's something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a contradictory 2 lines there. It's kind of like hedging his bets.
Yeah, like Crystal says, yes, like he's just throwing something out there that he's not even sure about either.
But I don't think Nick just would pull that from the air if somebody didn't tell him there were a couple of tips and a possible sighting. But why would the police even mention it if it wasn't credible? You know, they get tons of stuff that's not credible.
Right.
They get, people just taking screenshots of Facebook comments and sending that to them and stuff like that.
And the Real Me Too said that they saw the sighting, I guess pictures from the sighting, and says it doesn't look like Sebastian in their opinion. So we haven't seen anything about the sighting. We saw the sighting in North Carolina, but nothing from the East Tennessee side.
Are we talking about it? Yeah, at Real Me Too, are we talking about a different sighting than that North Carolina? That's what I thought.
Well, I think she's talking about the sighting that you're directly relating to from Nick.
Yeah, so a new one that happened like sometime very recently.
Yes.
That I have not seen. I have not seen pictures of this.
I haven't either.
So that's interesting. I mean, I'd love to see the pictures. If those are out there. Another thing about Nick that is interesting to me is he keeps saying these things, and even the police say this too. They'll say there's no evidence, and I know I get a little hung up on the words sometimes, but words do matter, and when they say there's no evidence, that's just simply not true. There's plenty of evidence. What they're saying is there's no irrefutable proof is what they mean when they say there's no evidence. They may mean that there's no video of an act being committed, but that doesn't mean that all these other things are evident. They are gathering evidence. So the dogs, not being able to find a scent past the driveway, that is evidence.
Right.
All of these neighborhood cameras, that will all, if any of this ever goes to trial, that will all be evidence. Whatever statements Katie and Chris gave behind closed doors in the interrogation rooms, that will all be evidence. So when they say that there's no evidence, that's not true. They have lots of evidence, circumstantial, maybe not enough to get a conviction or even bring indictments, but they do have evidence. So maybe I'm getting a little hung up on language.
Well,
and I know
it could be poor journalism too. That it was written in a poor way. You know, it could be that.
Sorry,
my
Brownie. Brownie just pulled off Mr. E's headphones.
The dog just grabbed the cord there. Yeah, but see, that's another thing that's weird. Nick's not a new guy. Nick has been doing this a long time, so he knows the difference.
Nick's even interviewed Mr. E 2 or 3 times, and we know him personally, so we know he's a good guy.
He knows the difference between evidence and irrefutable proof or whatever. So
he's just trying to remain neutral.
Maybe he's just trying to use like terms the public understands or whatever. But I know he knows the difference. So why is he? I don't know. A journalist, I would expect that they know, especially when it works so much on criminal cases. He knows what he's doing. So I kind of wonder why, and I wonder why he does that contradictory statement at the end.
Yeah, I just made it the whole thing sounded off to me. Just it wasn't like the normal, genuine Nick Barris reports, and you know he's real personal, and it seemed canned to me, just like it was very like, okay, we want you to give this information out. This is what we want you to say. And he just kind of puts a little spin on it himself. But I don't know. I didn't feel either the information is not genuine and they're using it for police tactical purposes, or they have this information and they wanted the public to hear something, or just like one of the viewers just said, it was totally to get the public off their back.
Let's see.
Maybe so. I hope. I mean, maybe so. I hope I
kind of agree.
You agree with Opie Mom?
Yeah.
Law enforcement is building their case and gathering evidence. They will not give any information until they have enough for a conviction.
I think that's probably true.
But they have given some. Well, they did say. I mean, unless we think that Nick is completely fictionalizing his report, they did give him some information for some reason. So sometimes, but there is sometimes. I mean, there is a reason when they do it. Which is why did they decide that now is the time to reveal that they had 2 new tips or leads, whatever way you want to call it, and a possible sighting. The sighting is almost the most. I mean, maybe it'll make more sense to me if I see the pictures. If those are out there somewhere, I didn't realize they had released those. I hadn't found them. Crystal, I think they are telling him things, but I think he should be cautious to believe them. Maybe he's seeing that now. It's almost like he isn't sure of himself. Maybe. Yeah. Because they, reporters do get used by people, that happens. That absolutely happens. Politicians do that stuff all the time. Intel agencies do things like that. And it's kind of, if you think about where a reporter is coming from, on the one hand, Nick wants to keep that relationship. He wants to be the guy that they're coming to saying, hey, here's a tip for you. We've got 2 new leads or whatever their tip is. So he's got something to report. But if these tips are not quite accurate, or they're exaggerated, or the police are spinning something, then it makes Nick not look great. But if he acts skeptical of his source, then the source will go find someone else. They'll go call, WKRN or a different, a different network and find their guy.
Right.
So, cultivating the sources is important for a reporter, but it's also his reputation. So it's a tough balance. I bet. I'm sure it's a tough balance for all reporters in that.
Well, Diane says the verbiage is very cryptic, and personally it becomes useless. In my opinion, this felt like a brush over, and I can see that as well.
But I also could see Nick I could see Nick not saying anything at all if it were a brush over. I think he might have been instructed to say that.
That's what makes me think that he was guided to, we need you to relay this information.
Right.
Usually he's very descriptive.
Yes. He is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just felt like he wasn't this time.
Right.
And it could be, maybe they said, tell them we've got some leads so that people will back off on the drama. And Who knows? I mean, there could be a lot of reasons behind it.
You know what else too? He buried the lead, right? I mean, the lead story to this is that there's two new leads and a sighting of Sebastian, and instead he does a 2 minutes on Summer, or a minute or so on Summer Wells, then an old interview from the Craddock, and then at the very end he slides in. Oh yeah, by the way, there's 2 new leads and a sighting of Sebastian in East Tennessee. Good night, everybody. You know, like it's that's the big part of this. Is the big news. We all missed it for a day or two. You know.
And Crystal said he got so much backlash from some of his other videos that he's probably, it could be that he's being cautious, and that's it too. He has gotten some backlash.
He might be tired of the story, and somebody, yeah, he might be. I wouldn't blame him in a way.
Okay, so I talked to my tech person, and he told me to try this. So I'm going to try this and see if it works. If it doesn't, I give up. We're not going to have any audio visual effects this episode. So I'm going to try this, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Please let me know right away if you cannot hear it. It's going to go to an ad first, just so you know. Can you hear it?
No, but it's also got the X on the microphone.
No.
Let's see. How about now?
Both of these cases remain
confounding
mysteries. Summer Wells and Sebastian Rogers both vanished without a trace, but their Amber Alerts remain in effect.
Okay.
It was 3 years ago.
Skip ahead to the point where I'm going to skip ahead to the point where Nick says about the leads, because that's what we're talking about, right?
Sure, go about a minute or so in.
Got about a minute in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and that's in a future video, Mr. E is going to show me some of the Summer Wells stuff for the first time. And he says I'm going to be pretty upset. So that might be fun to watch for everybody else, because I'm going to be pretty upset.
See your real-time reaction.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of
well, yeah. I'm getting a little bit of a preview. So I'm going to start it here, guys.
Wandered away and was more likely the victim of foul play.
Okay. Neighbors are going to be interviewed.
All right,
sex offenders in the area are going to be interviewed.
A little bit more.
Anybody with a likelihood to have committed this kind of crime.
Authorities have done the same in the Sebastian Rogers case. The 15-year-old vanished more than 4 months ago from his Hendersonville home. In that case, too, investigators think it's unlikely the teen with autism just wandered away on his own with little or no scent detected by canines. Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Yet, anyway, though those close to the case say that now is the most likely scenario. But there is simply no evidence of anything in either case. Now, I do know that authorities right now are looking into 2 new leads in Sebastian's case, including another possible sighting in East Tennessee. But to date, nothing has led to any substantial new leads. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
All right.
Yeah, so his wording is a little different from his article as opposed to his video, but it's the same. It's basically the same idea both ways. But yeah, so you get to hear it from his in his own way there.
We've had some other, first of all, real quick, I would want to say thank you to all of our members. I see a bunch of you guys in here, the Real Me Too. If you guys see a member I'm missing, Breezy is crushing on the Sandman. Did you guys ever figure out what that meant?
She loves my hair too. Thank you.
I saw you did get a hair.
Breezy, you can't do that. She's gonna be worried about her hair now.
Crushing on the Sandman. Love your hair today, Auntie.
I had to wash it like 5 seconds before we went on, so at least it's nice and clean today.
That's great.
Let's see. I know we have some other members in here, and I'm sorry. I feel so bad. Did Maui Girl ever come back?
I don't think so.
Oh, that stinks. All right. Well, maybe we can track her down in another chat and apologize.
I don't know if there's a way to bring back anybody that's been.
What, Olivia?
I have not seen her in the chat. No, I feel horrible.
No. I know. I feel bad. She's such a good person, but
you might check just to make sure she's
not still blocked. Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it while you guys.
Yeah,
talk.
but I unhit her. So.
Yes, you know how YouTube can be fickle too, though. Let's see. Okay, this is okay. You know where this is, right?
I don't.
Okay, yeah, you do. You just don't realize you do. Go ahead and read the comment.
Did you know about Sebastian's favorite park called Mary's Miracle Playground in Veterans Park? It is for autistic and disabled children near TRH. I don't know which one is that.
It's the one that's green right off of Vietnam's on the right.
Oh, you can see it off the bypass.
Near Indian Lake.
Light green, yes.
And
Okay,
I've been hearing people talk about searching Indian Lake. Indian Lake's a shopping center.
Yeah,
So
it's not a real lake.
It's not, there's not a lake anymore. Maybe it was at one point, but as far as we know, it's a shopping center. And searching around there. And it's got some wooded areas around it. And it's clear Texas, it's near Texas Roadhouse. And Mary's Miracle Playground is also near there. So, yes.
Yeah, and that would be
the real Me Too.
Maybe walkable. It'd be a pretty good walk if that were a direction he were going.
It would be miles.
Yeah,
It would
I
be
mean, it would take you
and
a
lot
while.
of people would have seen him, and a lot of cameras would have picked him up if he was headed that direction.
Yes.
All right. Well, now I'm excited because we have the audio thing working.
I'm looking for the Maui girl comment. I don't know if I can see it from this end. Are you still looking?
I'm going to look on the back end and see. Let's see.
When somebody's removed, we can't click on it anymore.
Yeah. That stinks. But we'll apologize to her. She's going to. Yeah.
She did maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
And thank you, The Real Me Too. We appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, okay, that's an interesting thought.
This is Mama Bear. I think Nick Barris intentionally left out the other lead because Ellie told him he couldn't reveal it. Possible persons of interest, suspects would be only reason Ellie told him 2 leads, but do not mention the second lead. Yeah, I just wonder what. I mean, I don't know if they might have.
They would give a reporter a lead with it and tell him, but you can't share this,
right?
Because that's their job.
Yeah, I think they probably told him to share what he shared. They may have even told him more details off the record,
right?
But asked him not to report that. I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, we don't know what his relationship is like with that office, but it seems to be pretty good. I mean, they do choose him as their guy. So it's just interesting. It's interesting why they would make that choice. It's interesting why they'd mention it. I mean, I would kind of have to think they think that sighting in East Tennessee is not something they thought was authentic, likely, because it would seem you'd be putting him in danger. Either you would release, hey, this kid's been seen, we need to move, everybody in the area, be on the lookout, or you would keep it real low key and try to find him before somebody took off out of town with him or something. Not just kind of cryptically add it to the end of a news report. I'm not sure what benefit that would have.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I was checking that. Maui Girl is not blocked. So if any guys, if any of you guys know her, please let her know that was an accident and we are terribly sorry about that. All right.
Yeah.
And since we have kind of a lull right now, I just want to ask everybody if you wouldn't mind to take a moment to go ahead and hit that like button. That helps us with the algorithm, and we really appreciate you. And we'd also have the opportunity for memberships as well. If anybody's interested in becoming a member and getting, custom emojis and all kinds of bells and whistles. And I will say it may not be ready yet, but I did do something kind of funny. Because, we're so very new to this. We didn't know all the things that could be done with, with YouTube. So I had a little fun, and I'm going to see if I can pull this up.
Someone asked too why membership gifting is not available.
Well, it should be.
I thought it was. I thought someone gifted a membership a few lives ago.
Well, let's see.
It's happened a couple of times.
Let's see. I'm trying to find what I'm looking for.
I don't know. Somebody did like 5 one night, or 5 or 10 or something like that. really early on.
Yes, they did. It was like 5.
Yeah, and somebody did one last week or so.
Let's see.
And I see people say they don't have the money. Please don't feel like you have to be a member. It's
Oh,
just
gosh, no.
available for you if you would like to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I don't know how to do this the right way. I know that we have a website. I don't know how to do it, but this is so funny. I don't know how to show the website. Huh. All right.
Oh,
Let's
the real
see.
Me Too said she's gifted before.
Okay.
That might have been you I'm thinking of then. Yes, and thank you again for doing that. I think
I'll check it out and see if it's like turned off or something weird. Okay. So
I don't hear anything. Do you hear anything?
Can you guys hear us?
No.
You can't hear us?
I can hear you. I thought you were
Yes,
playing
I can.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Now this is so silly, guys, and it's just because I think it's funny. And we need a break here and there. So we have created merchandise.
Hey,
So-
I don't even have one of these.
I know. This is a Mr. E's, and this is like not the official page. I don't know how to show it.
Oh man, I
but
gotta get one of those.
Mr. E's Detective Agency. This is my favorite, though. This is my favorite thing.
You cut out 1 second. Say that
Okay.
again.
This is my
Oh, I
absolute
love
favorite.
that.
This is
Oh,
a case
yes.
of poor judgment. That's a good one, isn't it, Olivia?
Yes,
So,
I want to
yeah.
get one of those.
So
There has been a
like
theme.
that.
yeah, poor
Very
judgment
good.
has been a theme since like our second or third episode. That was kind of funny. Let me see what else we've got.
Crystal says that cup is fantastic. It is. It's good.
Well, and we've had a lot of people excited about the crime dogs. So
Ooh.
this is
I love the hoodie. That I have to get one of those.
Crime dog.
we thought that was hysterical. So, like I said, I've been having a lot of fun. I'm going to have some more fun with the merchandise. Just kind of, I like to do graphic design. So there's a mug. This is just
Yes,
true
and
crime.
Miss E created the true crime design all on her own, and
Yeah.
it took days and days, but I absolutely love it. She did such a great job on it.
You can get a magnet. There was some
She
other funny stuff. I don't remember. I had another funny one. What was it? Oh man, I wish I could see all the products at once. Browse all. Okay, maybe that'll help me. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I thought I had another funny one. I guess I didn't. All right. Anyway,
The Crime Dogs mug was new. That wasn't.
there's a Crime Dogs mug. Yeah.
It's kind of a nod to our daughter.
Yeah, and I kind of did this as a limited time color for Crime Dogs. Like I said,
That's like
I don't really.
I like the crime dogs. Is there a dog on the crime dogs?
No, but we've been talking about this a little bit with our daughter, and she wants it to be Brownie with a fedora. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, that's what
That's what she's thinking.
But anyway, I'll pull that down. It was just kind of a fun thing that we did. I think
Someone says y'all don't have iPhone link for iPhones.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I'm
for
gonna take
the
this down.
memberships.
For the membership.
So
What?
Celestial Sky.
What?
You ought to do one of 1202.
Oh, that's a great idea.
They
You don't mean
need
with
the
the silhouettes,
iPhone-
I don't think.
They said you need the iPhone link for memberships. I don't have it. That's why. Y'all don't have iPhone link for iPhones.
Otherwise,
I think
they'll
what it
have
is-
to get on a computer.
Gotcha.
Well, I think what it is you have to have 30,000 people in order to have that button to join. And so we would have to get 30,000. So if you guys could work on that, Corby, I would appreciate it. And and then we can get the button. What was that?
Brownie
Crystal
with
said,
binoculars.
Brownie with binoculars. Yeah.
Brownie with binoculars? That's awesome. Okay. Anyway, we can get back on track. Sorry, that was just us being silly.
See, Brownie with binoculars.
And Turtle Madness, I recognize you from Dolly. I'm assuming that's a reference to Dolly.
I would think so.
Yeah. So can you be a turtle and a crime dog?
I would think. I think that would be great to be both.
Do you want to do this, Lolly?
Yeah, we can do. You guys. Okay. So the next thing on our I think if you put the membership link in a browser on your iPhone, that will work temporarily.
Somebody said, Breezy said she joined with iPhone, but she cannot gift.
Okay, well, I'll check that out. Let's see.
I'll see if I can do it on my phone.
Let me see. That should be something I can check really quickly. So I'll check that while we're talking. Olivia, you got anything to add? Because I can't see the screen, what people are saying when I'm looking at this stuff. Let's see.
Sure. Well, let's see. I was looking.
Anything you want to talk about?
Some comments.
Well,
Olivia, I mean, we haven't really ever talked directly about this case. I would just be kind of curious. Do you have any leading theories or thoughts about this case? Are you still kind of in a place where you're pretty open to multiple theories, or are you honing in on one or two?
It changes so much with this case, but I definitely think that something nefarious has happened with him, and I think it was at home. And I feel like all three of the parents have been kind of difficult in this case. I'll use that word.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't feel for certain individuals. But at the same time, I feel like it's made, Seth, of course, a few things he's done has just made it into kind of a circus with Tony and, etc. With Katie and Chris not speaking and everything that's come out with them. You can't really look away from it, from the fact that something happened to him and they're trying to cover it up. I don't know who knows what and who, but I've had some theories in the past, but since other things have happened, it's changed. It's,
right.
It changes, so much changes every day in this case.
There's so many factors too that change your mind. I mean, I at first, I know, Mr. E, you had the idea that it was probably an accident, that, something happened and they were trying to cover it up. And then, I just keep going back to the weekend of fun and the pictures and sticking the phone in Seth's face saying, see, he was happy. There was, he was in it. It's just like it seemed almost premeditated with all those actions. So I'm like Olivia, I go back and forth constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have evolved on that. I think when we first started this, I would have thought, my thinking was that it was a, like you were saying, not an accident exactly, but a not planned, that it wasn't planned, it was spontaneous, like a lost temper or something like that, not premeditated, like a shove or a slap. And with his, because, the reason I was thinking that partly was the thud part of the story. I thought maybe that was like her kind of guilty conscience slipping out with the truth, that he maybe fell to the ground and hit his head, and it's just kind of like her mouth kind of slipping on the truth or somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that,
part about the thud that bothers me. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It just, the part that bothers me is that wasn't part of her story in the very beginning.
Right.
That wasn't part of the story in the very beginning. And so then all of a sudden it changed from she heard some noise to a thud. And when you say thud in a missing child's case, that raises some red flags right there.
Well, you have some definite words in mind or pictures in your head when you hear the word thud, right?
Yeah.
Those are pretty strong
It sounds like
Mhm.
a deep, heavy sound. You know, a thud.
Like if you dropped something heavy from a high point in a, you know, and it went boom, you know, like that heaviness.
Not like a knock or a tap, or you know, those would be
Or
different
something
words.
that was like fell off a shelf. That's not a thud. Yeah.
Right. Something heavy.
It
It
sounds
makes
serious.
me wonder if she, yeah, it makes me wonder if she said a thud when she first met with the police that morning. How did she describe the noise then? I would be interested to know that.
Yeah, I hope I hope that's all recorded, like on body cam footage,
Mm-hmm.
on their arrival, like everything she said and did, like in those moments. I hope that's all recorded.
Well, and I keep
hope
going
so.
back to, you know, we don't know how the interrogation went, or the questioning and the searching in the home. Marcia said, I've seen 2 other YouTube channels that shows a white door by the trash cans. My thought is Sebastian could have hit his head on it and they're trying to get rid of the door. I mean, you know, they didn't really talk about their search efforts inside the home to see if, you know, all they've said is they have no leads and there's nothing to indicate foul play, which would make me think they looked around and didn't see anything out of order. But it just doesn't seem that could be possible. If it actually happened in the home, there would be some evidence. And so that's where I really get marred down in my theories, is because they've not said they found absolutely anything in the home.
Right. And I think they searched it 10 times or so, right, at this point, that we know of.
Yes, and I also heard that I think this was in one of Chris's late night lives that he was doing there for a while, is that they have all 3 been questioned and they were separated into 3 different places and questioned.
Oh, I haven't heard. I don't know if I've heard that. That's good. That's good police work. If that's, I mean, I hope that's accurate. So I'm sure that is.
Yeah, I hope it's accurate as well, but that's just what was said. But yeah, you never know.
Okay, I'm doing a poll. Okay, I found this secret thing in YouTube Studio that I did not know existed until just now. So I am going to put up a poll for you guys. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys what you think happened. Did I spell that word right?
It is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So I would like to know what you guys think. So I'm starting a poll. I've never done this before. So
okay, let's see if it posted. Maybe.
I don't know. Did it? It should pop
yes,
up.
It posted.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got. All right.
So her question here is.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do we have it?
Yeah, I'm watching it in YouTube Studio
sorry.
as opposed to watching it in StreamYard. I've never done this before, so
Yeah,
you can't see it in StreamYard.
Oh, you can't?
No,
I don't see it on my end. Olivia, do you see anything?
No, I see it on my phone. No.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We got 45 votes so far. Go in and vote, people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. I
would
kind
love
of
to
where
know
the
what you
folks
guys
that
think.
join us are kind of at. I know I've heard different theories from our,
Yes.
people here, and
sorry, I'm gonna get comfortable.
Yeah, I've been kind of curious to where the group is at on that at this point. So I think we were looking at what premeditated accident, runaway, or abduction. I guess
And
that would be really the 4.
Robin said, if it was an accident, you call 911 or take them to the hospital. So
exactly,
that's you can't kind of get past that. If it was really truly something that was, even if you get mad and hit your child or something, or
exactly.
But they might have been so spooked with CPS, with what the things that had happened in the past, that was not something that they wanted to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I had this discussion a few weeks ago about it being an accident when I was floating that theory, and some people were like, "Well, it's not an accident if you hit your child," and that's true. It's not an accident, but I guess what we mean is more
spontaneous.
Spontaneous, not premeditated, not thought out,
reactionary.
Not because even if you slap your child, although you might mean to hurt them, you're not necessarily trying to take their life. It would still be an accidental death doesn't mean you wouldn't be at fault or negligent or even a criminal and convicted and all that. It's a different level of criminality.
We got
I guess
73 votes. We got
Yeah, so-
240 some people watching, so please go vote. And Tip for Tat says the whole Last Supper thing, though, can't get over the day of fun. That's another thing that really trips me up as well.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
number one that makes it look premeditated. That's the number one piece of evidence that we know of. Second might be that thing but we didn't know this till recently, was where Katie runs up to Seth with the phone, like you were saying earlier.
Yes.
Katie.
Turtle
Yes.
Madness is not an accident.
Not an accident.
Not an accident. And we had someone say hello from Dubai. So hello, Dubai.
Hello. Oh, and Merge is here. Hi, Merge.
Merge, one of our newer members,
Hi, Merge.
just made it in time to vote. Is there a time limit on the vote? Does it have a time?
I can end it anytime. I was going to leave it open a couple more minutes, and we can come back to it and just check out
Let's
where
give
we're
folks
at.
a little time because people hop in and out.
And Tip for Tat asked if we'd seen the compilation video. If that was the video that she said she emailed you a compilation video. Tip for Tat. If that was the Seth video that he posted on his YouTube.
I can look.
Yeah, I don't. If you don't know what she's talking about there, Seth on his YouTube channel posted a video. It was kind of like a montage of different pictures of Sebastian and the vigils and the searches, and some of them were like baby pictures. Several of them I had not ever seen before. I'm assuming someone made it for him or a friend or another creator or somebody, but it was really good, and it was very sad at the same time. But I would recommend watching it. It's a little heartbreaking, but it is also a reminder of why we are all here.
Right.
Too. Because it's easy to kind of forget in a way because we get so caught up in the circus of things and the news and the detectives and all the potential suspects, but it's ultimately about this kid.
It's a compilation of all the interviews.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a great thing to review then.
Well, I mean, I could pull it up. I'm not sure who it belongs to.
I mean, it's always fun to pick their lies apart, isn't it?
It is.
Can someone check into a place in East Tennessee called Park Ridge Valley for disturbed or troubled children in East Tennessee? Once the kids get to a level, they get to go on group trips with other kids.
The only thing about that theory, and I've had a lot of people mention that in our comments and in the chat and things. The only thing is if they did put him in a home for troubled kids or whatever you want to call it, they would not have reported him missing.
Right.
And they wouldn't have cost.
They could go to jail for
fraud,
using resources for fraud for that. So, I mean, that would be not a smart thing to do on their part.
And they cost the Sumner County. I mean, I don't even know how many thousands of dollars.
Millions.
It's millions.
It'd have to be millions.
You think so?
Yeah. With all those
everything's
resources that
millions
came in.
these days.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the helicopters and all the scuba stuff, all that.
That's a good point from Breezy.
I was getting ready to click on that one.
That's a good point. I remember that.
Katie also said that Sebastian was bragging about the day they had planned. Would that suggest that days like that weren't common?
Obviously.
I would think so.
Yeah, I remember when Chris was asked about is that typical, it took him a couple of beats to say yes. He didn't really want to answer that
That's
question
exactly
because
what
I
I was
think
going to say.
That's a good point.
He started to dodge it. Then he finally said something like, "Yeah, that's normal," But he didn't answer it at first. He tried to push that off.
Let's see. It's not letting me do it. Tit for tat.
And Marsha, these are all really good points. Chris's comment that he walked off the porch and disappeared, poof. Then he said this case will be studied for years. Then he said the best thing Sebastian did was not leave evidence. Those were all such strange statements in the Chris Proudfoot montage of interview responses. I mean, they were all weird and have all led to us all questioning everything that's happened for sure.
Those kind of comments, especially that one you always point out, the one about
Whoops.
the best thing he did was not leave evidence or something along those lines, because if he were guilty, then he would believe what he's saying, you know?
Right. It's weird.
Yeah, it's almost a double meaning.
Okay. So I'm going to play a little bit of this that Tit for Tat sent us. It looks like it's from Smiley's World, and Smiley has a great channel. I would definitely check her out. She's had some interviews with the Proudfoots, and she's fussed at them a bit. I've heard her fuss at, and she's fussed at Seth too. So she's kind of an even fusser.
Okay.
So I will play a little bit of it.
Not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up.
I'm going to stop this for just a second. In the chat, people are asking what he's talking about fooling. I think, where was that? I just saw it. The chat's going kind of fast. We are
what Chris meant was Sebastian fooled everyone.
Oh, what? Oh, I see. All right. So we're listening to a compilation. It sounds like that Chris is talking about the CPS reports.
Oh, and
Yes.
This is a good point too. Tit for Tat said, this is the one where I feel like he's indicating that Katie also has a CPS case against her, because he specifically says the one on me.
Oh.
So that's a good point. Yeah,
Oh.
can you back that up just a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, he does.
Where
Let's listen to that again.
Okay, I'll start it over.
He's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" It's her again. She's like, "Oh, hey." She goes, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Blue, blue, blue." She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Okay. I guess that wasn't the right video. I'm sorry. That was the header of the email.
But that's still really good information.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I think so.
You can talk about some CPS reports. You know all about those. So you want to talk about that?
Well, I mean, just the fact
for people who have joined us since, after we talked about
the folks that are with us now that have
were not
maybe
with
their
us
first or second time with us, so they don't know that your background is in education that way.
Well, I think it's real clear that there's multiple reports, and basically you can tell he's irritated that Sebastian has gone to school yet again and made another report, but this time it's about him. And the worker comes in and says, "Hey, don't tell me anything. Let me tell you what he said." I think that, obviously you've got a history here. At one point we were kind of theorizing that maybe some of the reports were on Sebastian at school, and they were basically from staff that were concerned about behaviors. I'm not so sure still with that theory. I mean, I think that's possible, but I still think that there were multiple reports from the mom and the dad, or stepdad. I think Seth even said there were reports on him. I don't know if it's since he moved to Tennessee or not, though. I haven't gotten that much information on their interviews to determine that, but it's obvious that there's multiple CPS reports, and Sebastian has no problem going to school and confiding in teachers on things that are going on at home.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell just exactly how many CPS reports there have been.
But another good point you made is that it is possible that CPS reports can come from school without the parents being involved.
And that is true.
Because people automatically assume that the parents are involved, and CPS reports can come from actions as well.
Yes, like in the past when we've had concerning situations at school, we do contact the home, but we may have to, because of the type of behavior, may feel that it warrants a call to CPS, and CPS is called, and we make a report saying this child did this against another child, or he had this behavior at school that was very concerning, and we wanted to report that. And then CPS will come into the home and investigate and talk to them about the incident that happened at school, and ask them more questions and kind of investigate to see if there's more information that they can find. And sometimes even legal charges are filed based on information that, things that happen at school. We've had a kid that brought, it wasn't necessarily a weapon, but it was could be construed as a weapon, wasn't a gun or anything like that, but it was another weapon, and it could easily have been something that he used to harm another child. So we reported that he brought that along with some drug paraphernalia and drug stuff. And this was a small child. This was like a 5-year-old. So we knew that was not typical behavior, but it warranted us calling the police and also CPS to say we found these with the child in his backpack. Right. And then they went into the home. So those kinds of situations do occur as well. So it's not always just a parent mistreating a child and the child goes to school and reports it and they come and investigate it. So there could be lots of other reasons that you call CPS from a school standpoint, besides just a child saying, hey, this happened to me at home.
Yeah. Teacher could notice bruising or a change in attitude, things like that. Or a teacher might report for that stuff too, right?
Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know if all of these CPS reports are basically generated specifically by Sebastian. Chris claims at least one was, but we don't. We don't know. He's dodgy on so many things. He's not afraid to just. It's one thing I think about a lot is how people choose to be deceptive, and like. Most people don't tell brazen lies. When most people lie, they do it in they lie by omission, or they try to just tell enough of the truth to kind of shade and mask. They part half truths, things like that. Maybe just not tell you the full story, or take something slightly out of context to make themselves look good. Right? But Chris is like, and that's kind of how Katie lies typically. She kind of does more like that. But Chris will just lie to your face. He'll say, "Oh yeah, Nancy Grace, I'll come on and take a lie detector test," and then just say, "Nah, no,
right."
I have no intention of doing that.
Karen makes a good point. She said, "It sounds like he's already established a rapport with that worker. Perhaps they should have sent someone else." Typically, with a caseworker, they try to keep the same person. I know with the turnover in social services and social workers, it's very often hard to keep the same person. But you definitely don't want to have any kind of personal relationship or build rapport other than just a trust. That they trust the person coming into their home to investigate what's going on. So you definitely don't want to be like completely believing the parent and say, we know it's probably another false allegation. You really have to come in and question them and ask them the questions, and be a very arbitrary representative, because you're representing that child, and that's the least thing you need to do is to start to side with the parent before they even have a chance to explain or answer your question. So that's a good point.
I have a request for our channel members. I've been working on the tech stuff, so I've been a little bit tuned out on some of these things. For our channel members, you don't have to gift a membership, but would you just let me know if you're able to see the ability to gift a membership? I want to see if you have to be a member in order to gift other memberships. So that's,
that's it.
because I'm having some difficulties trying to figure out what the problem is. And I was going to join myself and be a member so I could gift some memberships, but the credit card I have in there got hacked. And so I would have to go get a whole new credit card and do all that. So by the time I do all that, the show will be over. So if you guys wouldn't mind to look in there if you're a member and just check it out and let me know. You don't have to gift memberships. I don't mean it like that. I just want to see if that is why people cannot gift memberships.
I do
because I really don't
the option.
Oh, I forgot, Olivia. You're a member. I totally forgot.
Yes. I just looked and I do not, on my iPhone, I do not have the option to gift.
Oh, weird. Because we've had them before.
I wonder if it's only on the computer that like a
Maybe.
desktop.
I think so.
Oh,
Okay.
Sharon says
Until
she
you get
can.
the iPhone link.
Sharon, if could you comment? Are you on a laptop or are you on your phone?
And is it an iPhone?
Yeah, Breezy says that she's on an iPhone, or he. I'm not sure. Wait. Well, Breezy is on an iPhone and
she cannot.
Well, I don't really understand it.
Sharon, let us know if you're on if you're on your computer or on a phone.
Seems like it might be a phone issue.
I don't know. We'll find out. I'm kind of waiting on.
Said, I see gifting.
Somebody said I see gifting. I'm on a laptop.
Okay.
So
maybe it has to do with the telephone.
Sharon said she's on her phone. Wow.
That is. And Sharon, do you have an iPhone?
Maybe that's it.
Maybe iPhone is just messed up. I'm just curious because I really don't understand this stuff, because this really, you guys have to understand. We start, like Mr. E said earlier, we started this because we were talking about it every night. We didn't feel like that there were I guess we felt like that we wanted to get, like you guys, we want to get our thoughts out there into the world, and we wanted to have a place where we felt comfortable doing that, and we wanted a place where everybody else could feel comfortable doing that. So we kind of are with some encouragement,
So here we
are. But we most definitely did not think that we would be having memberships and super chats and all of these things like this. We thought maybe a couple years down the road we might have that ability. We had no idea it was going to be like this. And we appreciate you guys so much, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And I mean, every day I'm looking.
Says it's iPhone, I tell you.
Oh. Well,
maybe it's iPhone specific. Yeah.
Well, every day I'm in here looking at the numbers tick up. I'm looking at the numbers, and it makes it. I can't express to you guys how much it means to me.
It does.
To watch these numbers tick up every day.
The comments get you too.
Oh yes,
you read the comments.
I read every single comment, and I reply to every single comment, even the mean ones.
The sweet ones though get her.
The sweet ones make me cry.
They do. They get her.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. And I was going to tell Mr. E, I was going to announce once we hit 3,000, I think we should do some type of giveaway. Maybe we could do something with that new merchandise or something.
That's a good idea.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Why not?
So if you haven't liked, subscribed to the channel, we would appreciate that. And obviously we will pick out of our subscribers. Well, I think there's a program you can put all your subscribers in, and then it picks randomly. And we'll get some merchandise.
So what are we? We're at 2,500 or something.
We're at 2,500. Once we get to 3,000, I think that's a fair number to get to. And once we get to that number, I think we should give out something.
Celebrate 3,000.
3,000 is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So yeah, we can do that.
Samantha says your poll does not include sending Sebastian to live with someone else to prevent him going to his dad's for the summer, or to help with CP's case for Faith. Well, I think we don't include that because if they had done that, that would make what they did in saying that he was a missing child illegal, and they would go to jail for that. So I don't think they would put themselves out there in that way. I'm
going to check the poll and see where we're at. I think I'm going to
what
end
is
it.
Our poll? I think that.
I don't.
What do you think, Mr. E?
Well, I was trying to think of. Yeah, I don't. I guess. Would I can? I guess I would put that. I wouldn't have put that in the top 4 options.
Thank you, Tip for Tat.
I just don't think that's. I just see, there are options, there are possibilities that are, I think, very, very rare, but we may not be able to rule them out. You know.
Yeah.
I just think those are the foremost. I think those are the foremost likely. Tit for tat. I know others feel the same. I'm a fan of the vibe here and intelligent conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too.
You're going to make me cry, tit for tat. I'm looking at you in the camera. You're looking exactly like Nancy Grace, though.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
Uncanny.
Thank you so much. That's very sweet. I'll figure all this stuff out someday, guys. I didn't expect to do. My whole point of that, thing is I thought I'd have a lot more time to learn this.
Maybe we could explore that idea, because that is a theory we hear here frequently, are the ideas of people, of him being hidden away in a facility like for special needs, or people, and that's the situation. And we haven't really talked about. Maybe next episode we'll kind of think of what that would be like.
And she kind of expanded on it here. She said they would if they didn't call 911 and not think it would become this big. They played along and it blew up on them. So that is a very good point. They could have said, "Hey, let's do this," and report him missing. And I mean that's a theory.
What's the motive for that, though?
Right.
What's the reason you would do that and not just do it? I mean, you could do it.
She said though, to get him so he wouldn't go to Seth's for the summer, or to get him away during the time that Faith was there visiting. That was what the motivation was.
Well, he would have been gone by now to Seth. So he wouldn't have been around Faith, because I think Seth had said he was supposed to have gotten him about a month ago or so.
Right.
He was supposed to get him as soon as school was out.
And then Faith only got here a few weeks ago.
So is the theory that they would put him in a facility so that he wouldn't get into Seth's hands just out of spite?
Maybe.
I mean,
you want to do your say it out loud stuff?
I don't know. I am saying it out loud in a way, I guess. I mean, that's a massive risk of fraud. You're really putting yourself in some legal jeopardy just to spite Seth. I mean, they're spiteful people, so I don't doubt that they have some spite. They seem to. They carry grudges. I don't know. It's just a hard theory for me to wrap my head around in a way that makes sense.
Hi, Karen. I just saw you in there. I might have said hi before. I've been a little distracted today. Oh, whoops.
But I hope a theory like that's accurate, because that means he's alive. I would be hopeful. I'd have to think and find an angle that makes sense to me.
Also, Olivia, don't forget to share your link for your channel in in the comment section. I know we're kind of it's hard to do all this, that's why I appreciate you so much.
I want to go to Jules next, but I want to read.
Sure.
Did you read this already? So Karen says he would have needed to continue attending school in February.
Right. Our Sumner County schools did not let out till around May 25th.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I also wanted, this is a good point about that topic also. Jules says, but if they sent him away to a facility, why would they not pack clothes and shoes?
It always comes back to the shoes. Yeah. That's my next mug.
Right. You're right. You used my trick, actually, Jules. Right. That's the thing I should have come up with when discussing that theory, is that there would be no reason to not have him go with shoes, even if you were sending him away in the middle of the night to a facility. He still would have worn shoes.
Right.
Even if you were calling him a runaway. Yeah, you're right. Shoes negates the facility theory.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
And that's what we do. And that's one of the things we do here is we sit there and we go through everything and we look at all of the information that we have and we knock things out.
I am
almost
embarrassed that Jules came up with my own argument that I usually do.
He
and
did.
I didn't think of it first. I am ashamed.
What? Jules that just means Jules is one of our people.
Yes, you're our group. You got me on that. That's true. You're right. I should have thought of that right away.
Look at the real Me Too. She's not even a moderator here, but she's amazing. I just want you to know.
Yes, thank you.
The real Me Too is my new bestie.
I know you guys are developing a thing.
Well, it's weird because I never thought I would develop a friendship with somebody that I don't actually speak to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've developed one with Olivia and the real Me Too. It's just so cool. And a lot of our members too. Karen McIntyre and I have been going back and forth in email. Tit for tat. someday maybe we'll see that tit for tat is not Nancy Grace. Maybe. I'm just joking. Me just being silly. Oh, Breezy. I didn't even see this till just now. I'm trying to post it. How do you do that? I missed it.
Breezy?
I didn't see it either when it happened.
Where is it?
Oh, there you go. Oh, no.
No.
Must be, maybe it's more recent.
I don't know. Can you?
I got it.
Can you post it?
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank you.
Breezy is crushing on the Sandman. You're a great channel. Much success to you.
Thank you
so
very
much.
much. And
I
for those of you who are new, we do have a child who has autism. So that's part of the reason this case is so important to us. We want Sebastian home. We don't care for the drama.
And we do hear the feedback. So we are aware of the things you guys like about our channel, and that I think you're appreciating the not the drama free, and we're focusing really on the case and the child here,
there's so many comments.
and not the outside stuff.
Loki.
So that's our intent to continue.
And
that.
Loki was wanting to know about the girl you did the short video on. Yes, she was.
Want to give an update?
Yes.
You want to give an update on her?
She was. So she was it was right also here in our backyard. It was right across the street from that Texas Roadhouse that Sebastian had last been seen with, Katie. And so, we heard about it that morning. That she had gone missing the night before. We heard about it the next morning. They did a missing person alert, and hours were going by, and she was 14 years old. And we thought, okay, this girl's going to turn up. And then she wasn't turning up, and her aunt was online, and everyone was upset and trying to post about it. And as the day went on, we thought, well, this may not be good. So, we started putting out her flyer, and we went to go they were doing a handout of flyers at 11 o'clock at that Indian Lake Cinema.
And we couldn't get all the kids and everybody in the car that quickly. So we were a little late.
We got there late, but there were tons of police all over the place. And so we did a little short, just try to get the word out. And but the city was rallying because those posters were already all over that area.
Right.
Every other shop had one. And sometime around 5 o'clock that day, I saw the aunt posted she's been found. It was like a great aunt I had been following on Facebook just to keep up. And she was at a friend's house. So I don't, after that, they didn't really want to share the information, which, at that point, I think they want to kind of keep it private, which I kind of understand. But I don't know why it took so long for someone at the friend's house. The whole city knew this girl was missing. It was all over the place. So fortunately, she's safe. She's found and was all okay. And that's the way these things usually turn out, right?
I just read a comment.
Fortunately, most of the time, these kids are found, and it is a situation like that, or they're with a parent, or there's a misunderstanding, or a kid's angry and comes back. Fortunately, that's usually the case, but we didn't know. As it was getting later in the day, we started to think maybe something was wrong, so we were trying to share that and get it out there in case.
Well, we actually had this conversation with our daughter yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted her to understand that Sebastian is not the norm. Normally, kids are found.
Right.
And that this is unusual. And it's, it can be scary to a kid because it's in her backyard, and so we wanted to make sure she understood that this is not normal. There's nothing to be afraid of. Because the police have not told us that anyone's in the area abducting children. Because if that were the case, you would think they would tell us, right? But we wanted her to know that it's not anything to be afraid of, and that it's abnormal for a child to go missing.
Right.
This way.
Right.
Sorry, I wanted to see what Marmy was talking about. I'm confused.
Wanted to send something, but it was deleted.
I have no idea, Marmy. If you can tell me what you were trying to send, I can try to help. And then Loki, this is what got me giggling a minute ago.
It says Loki James, but I'm Rocky Lennon. When I purchased the membership, it went under my son's account. I didn't know he had one. He is 4.
That's what got me giggling.
Okay.
I was giggling in the middle of inappropriately. And I know there are people that have come on the comments and gotten really angry at me for my giggles. But I do.
Yeah, somebody did that.
Somebody did. They fussed at me and I was like, I'm sorry. This is not a laughing matter. We just have some, I don't even know. It's probably the dogs fighting. That's what I was.
Karen makes a good point. I wonder how the children are in that area adjusting to the case being in their backyard. That is scary for a kid.
Well, I do have friends who have children who go to his school, and I've asked multiple times. I said, is there anything, what's the talk at school? How are the kids handling everything? And I have been told repeatedly that no one's really mentioning it at school.
Well, and school's out for the summer now, so.
No, that was when we were still in
back
session. So.
That's what a few of our friends have been. That's what the kids are saying.
Right.
It's also a big school, so some of the kids that we know didn't even know him at all.
Right.
It's a really big school, so it's the kind where
Well, but some of them also went to his middle school, and they didn't know him either.
Yeah, but it's if you're not in the right classes, you don't know all the at a school that size, you can go through for years and not know all the kids.
Okay, HM Hands wants to know what our favorite coffees family. I like black coffee, but Mr. E's a little different.
Mine has to be like a milkshake, or I can't drink it.
What do you have? What do you like? Latte?
Oh, I like mocha.
Cafe mocha.
I'm like a child.
I'm just a breakfast blend kind of black breakfast coffee. That's my favorite.
I never could do
Me
that.
too.
Never could do it.
Me too. All right. Let's see. Let's see
what
this question from Rose is.
Okay,
I
sure.
haven't heard from Rose yet.
Okay. Sorry.
Rose, does anyone know if they always use the front door or if they use the entry by garage as a primary entry? If so, could there be shoes that left in that area so they don't dirty the floor?
In a typical case, I would say yes, but Katie has come out and said that all of the shoes were accounted for Sebastian, which, we talked about this. Go ahead, Olivia. I'm sorry. I forgot you were there.
They said that the shoes, that's okay. They said that shoes were kept by the front door. Seth confirmed that. And all 3 pair of his shoes were by the front door.
Yeah, I think she's like neater. She's like tidy.
Right, because we wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have a clue if all shoes were accounted for.
And I mean, they're both military people, and military people often live that way where they're kind of pretty organized.
Right. I got the impression she was a super neat person.
Yeah. That would make sense with the background,
And actually, my own mother asked a question that I didn't know the answer to the other day.
Okay.
She said that there were no fingerprints. Now, granted, I love my mom a lot, but sometimes she gets some things confused. So
I heard this as well. We just can't verify the factuality of it. So maybe Olivia knows.
Okay, so Olivia, this is what my mother said. Granny said. Granny said that there were no fingerprints found in the house, but only on a blanket. And I cannot confirm nor deny that because I have not of Sebastian. I'm sorry, of Sebastian's. Have you heard that, Olivia?
No, I did hear that his scent was on a blanket. Okay. And I can't confirm 100% that it was used as his scent, but I heard that, and I think it was from Seth, but I can't tell you 100% for sure.
Okay. Well, I told her I would find out, and I have not in my research been able to find that. So I thought I know you're on top of this case as well.
I haven't heard anything about fingerprints at all.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about fingerprints. Yeah.
Okay. Granny, I know you're watching. I love you. And apparently we cannot confirm nor deny the fingerprints.
So if anybody has heard any interviews with the information about fingerprints or checking fingerprints, because I heard something about the front door, that his fingerprints were not on the front door. This could be one of those ones we're just listening to that's not, doesn't have a lot of factual information. But if you know of anything, any of the interviews, please let us know.
And also, I forgot to mention, Breezy, I appreciate your super chat. That's very nice of you. I forgot to say that earlier. Yes. I was just kind of gushing on the whole, You guys gets me all emotional when there's super chats. It's silly. Oh, that's a good question from Breezy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question.
How long does someone's scent stay on a piece of clothing or blanket?
That is a good question.
That would actually be I believe Jules, the dog handler, has mentioned that before. But Mr. E's going to look that up.
There's an interview with somebody with Jules. I'm going to listen to that later. I haven't heard it yet though.
Hey, Merge says, sorry, IMO. Is that, in my opinion? Ellie asked if the flashlights were missing only after seeing the dark video, which would never should have been leaked. Merge, I actually have a mutual friend, and at the beginning, we reached out for help and support, and I asked questions of the mutual friend who had been at their house pretty much every day since it started. And what I was told is a few things. One, I was told he didn't have shoes. One, I was told is that the scent didn't go out of the driveway. Another thing I was told, I asked if he had his iPhone or anything, and I was told that there was a flashlight, and I found out since that it was yellow. But anyway, I digress. That there was that there was a flashlight, and that the fourth thing, which was my big red flag that got me all spiraling and involved, just the biggest red flag in the world was that the first week that the child went missing, I was told I could know the first names of Chris and Katie, but they did not want their last name out in public. And they had a missing child, and that, all the sirens went off in my head when that happened. So I have been on the team foul play since that happened, because what parents wouldn't want their last name out there if their child's missing? So
right.
And
I can tell you about this.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I can tell you about the scent. It can last on clothing for a long time as long as it's not removed properly, which even washing it would still leave some of the scent, the sweat smell, and etc. on the clothes.
Okay.
It says that it can build up over time and that the scent will last even after a wash, because you can still smell sweat and stuff after washing it. So I'm assuming they mean by as long as it's not bleached or something like that, I would assume that's what that means.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I want to, Pebbles, I was just wanting to reply to Pebbles.
I just found a great article on tracking and trailing.
We can post it on our community.
We might just discuss it at a later date. I'm going to delve into this more and just understand it, but this might be helpful to us.
I just wanted to, Pebbles asked who said that. Pebbles, I reached out. It's a long story that I'm not going to get into, but I had a reason to reach out to a mutual friend of the Proudfoots and myself. And when we were discussing what I had to reach out about, I offered our support and our help and food and anything else they needed. And also the fact that we have an autistic child, I thought maybe we could have some insight and help with helping find him. And the mutual friend, the way the conversation went, essentially with the last name is I said to the person, I said, the thing is I think about this child day and night. I'm looking at my phone constantly to see if there's an update. I'm praying for this child. And I said, I don't even know him. I don't know his parents' names. I don't know anything. And my friend said, well, their name is Chris and Katie. Their names are Chris and Katie, but they do not want their last name out there. They do not want their last name out there in the public. And I said, oh,
wow.
Okay. So that's the story, but there's a much longer version. I probably went over it in another video.
Oh, yeah, you have mentioned it once or twice.
But that's essentially the story.
But again, people are new to us and maybe don't know.
Right.
And Mr. E, this is something that we've talked about in the past. You want to read this one?
Okay, this is from Charlene Haggerty. I also have an issue with Sebastian's 3 favorite black long sleeve shirts. Wouldn't you know which one is missing out of the 3? Yeah, that story doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's up there like with the shoes thing for me. Maybe second. I think
the black shirts bother him.
I think
he mentions them all.
I
the
do
time.
believe that if this is all ever known, we'll find out that those black shirts are a key part to this whole puzzle.
I did want to kind of get a clarification from Amy. She's saying lying is part of autism, not because they want to fool, just because trying to figure out what to say.
I think it depends on the severity of the autism and how, I mean, with your son, he just does not lie. He doesn't have that.
Well, but he will
got him.
say he will. It's not that he, and I agree with her on, it's not that he wants to lie. He just is trying to say what he thinks he wants us to hear. So we've got a little gate, or that he thinks we want to hear. So to get the right answers from him, I have to go true or false because he understands that concept. And I'll say, did you fall down and hit your knee? True or false? And he will tell me true or false. But if I say, did you hit your knee? He'll say, I hit my knee. So it really depends on the severity of the child. And I actually am wondering from the chat here, we were thinking about doing a whole episode about, how severe was, the autism. Because I had someone reach out to me and ask
They did.
about just about autism in general, and wanting to know, how severe Sebastian was. And, it's my understanding he wasn't that severe at all. So
yes. This was something we talked about the last time, was that we had, that we had the idea that maybe that the autism had been kind of exaggerated by the Proudfoots at first.
Right.
Because it made it seem more likely that he had just walked out the door and ran away. And then as time has gone on, there were these kind of, conflicting things where it's like, oh, well, he's playing chess and he's not in a special needs classroom. And
right.
And he's having these really kind of coherent conversations and has a sense of humor and, lots of signs that and then we saw the report from someone that worked with him that we know.
Yeah. I was going to say the teacher that has gray hair, our kids have worked with.
Yes.
All 3 of them on different reasons. One worked with her in the gifted program. One, the 2 others worked on other things. So we know her personally.
And she's worked with lots of kids with autism.
Yes.
And she described him as something like he's very, 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 very high functioning or something like that.
And she's,
And when someone says that, what they're trying to say is that they're so high functioning that you can't even really tell they have autism. Like their symptoms would be so minor that probably unless you were a psychologist, you wouldn't even know.
Right.
And that seems to be the case, or otherwise they wouldn't have had him in the typical classrooms if he were severe.
Tit for Tat was asking if the Proudfoots had ever taken us up on that offer. No, they didn't.
We haven't reached out formally, like it
was just
like an
through a
email
friend.
or anything like. Oh, you mean that?
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
No. And actually, we were going to be a part of the search, but when the police were on the news telling people not to search, and then there were people going rogue, doing their own searches. And at the very beginning, you remember the police were like, no, we do not want people searching. We are handling this, because they didn't want any evidence trampled or messed up in any way. They were trying to control it. And then there were other people who got in a lot of trouble for going rogue and going on people's property.
People forget some of these stories.
Yeah, these were at the beginning.
Yeah.
But people were really getting in trouble for going on other people's property without permission. And it got to be a mess. And so the police is, basically said, we will let you know when there's formal searches. And,
and our thinking at first reaching out that way too was like, well, we have a kid with special needs. We might maybe we would have an idea of where a kid with autism might hide as opposed to a typical kid.
Right.
Because we know how our kid thinks. So we were kind of thinking that maybe that would be helpful.
We might be useful.
And then of course, when they were like, well, they don't want their name out there and they don't need anything, I guess it was one of the early red flags for us. That right?
That was a glaring like brr, 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 brr.
That
Something's
was one of
wrong
the-
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we thought, oh, okay, they don't want their name out there. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you concerned about that in this moment? You know?
Okay. Well, let's move on to talking about the lady that had the Facebook text with Chris.
No, good. Do we want to? Yes.
I can. I haven't pulled that up yet, but I thought we could get the conversation started while I'm looking for it.
And Solo Socks says, how are there no signs of this boy? I think that's what's kind of made us all so intrigued with this case and so interested is that there are no signs. And we've just had to put together little tiny puzzle pieces trying to make a picture and figure out what happened. And that's the $1 million question. Why are there no signs of this boy?
You sound like Chris.
Yeah.
Are you crystal clear?
I'm crystal clear about that.
I'm just kidding. I'm being mean. I shouldn't do that.
Olivia, do you know what we're talking about with those black shirts?
Yes, I do.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Did you guys hear that?
No?
Okay, great.
Because it was super loud on our end. So I'm glad you didn't get
It's in your
that.
headphones.
Yes,
Well,
it was crazy.
I figured out what was wrong. I have two different. Okay, so we have I have a 7-year-old MacBook Pro, and what I did wrong was I'm supposed to be using Chrome instead of Safari. So those of you who have Mac,
Yes.
Safari's the default, and I had to download Chrome in order to use it with StreamYard because StreamYard won't work on Safari.
Right.
So and so I was trying to pull those links up on Safari and not the right place. That's all. Hey, you know what? I forgot. We need to go back for a second before I do this.
The poll.
To the poll.
I want to see the results.
We're going to end the poll.
All right.
Okay.
You haven't voted. Go vote.
Oh, it's
So,
over.
she already did it. She already
It's
did it.
over.
208 votes.
So we
208
have-
votes.
So basically 66%, 2/3 of you believe it was premeditated. 23% think it was an accident. 5% runaway and 4% abduction. So that would be almost what 90% of us would believe that whether it's an accident or premeditated, that there was a cover up, right?
Right. And then run away.
Well, and I was on the accident train for a while. I was thinking, but he said one very important thing to me. Do you remember what you said?
About which part? About it being an
Because I was
accident?
on the accident train. Like maybe they were
I
trying to
was too,
cover
yeah.
this up. And you remember what you said to me?
I don't know.
You say a
We
lot
talk
of
about
things.
this a lot.
We talk about it a lot. He said to me, he said, but if it's an accident, you call 911.
Oh,
that's what
Exactly.
He said.
Yeah, that's what someone commented earlier.
So that was kind of like, okay, well, he's right. That's the thing. That's the bad thing about living with Mr. E. He's full of logic. He doesn't go down any like crazy rabbit holes with you. He'll logic you like crazy. So then the things that stick in his side about this whole case is the shoes, the shirts. Is there any? There's one other thing.
Oh, I mean, there's
The shoes
a
and the
few.
shirts I
Well,
hear about
but-
a lot.
Well, that they said he walked out the front door, but then they said there's no way he could have walked out the front door.
Yeah, and that's taken us a while to piece together, actually. You know, because at first that
Hold on.
seemed feasible.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
At first it seemed feasible, and then eventually in an interview we find Chris describing how that wasn't possible. Now he wasn't trying to talk about Sebastian leaving; he was talking about the idea of a break-in, like a predator coming through the front door. He was saying, "Oh no, you couldn't do that because the light would have caught him on the video from the Ring camera across the street." And then Bobby confirmed that in her interview when she said that the neighbor told her the same thing, that the camera's on. So we ended up with two sources there confirming that the walk out the front door theory was impossible. But it that's not something we all knew in the first week or two of this case.
Right. It took a
We
while
all
to
had
put it together.
Yeah, that's why we're piecing this all together as this information. We're pulling it from different interviews in different places and narrowing down the possibilities. So really right now we can rule out that front door, right? I think
so. Absolutely you can. Barry Happy said what's getting my attention is Bauer Sox changed homes. Katie got a new vehicle. There are no such things as coincidences. And the door is interesting, renovating to sell. Are they because they're changing the front door or the door? There is a door sitting there, that looks
They've
like
got a lot of junk, guys.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
pull
a
it
lot of
up. We
junk.
were just there a few days ago. If you want me to pull that
you
up
saying
first,
that
I will.
Katie
the
didn't get a new vehicle, did she?
No, that was a report made a day or two ago, but it was a friend visiting.
That's
Okay.
what we understand, because I believe Duchess reached out and found out that.
Yeah, Duchess basically can text them, and she reported no, they've just got a friend from out of town, and the car we saw did have out of town plates or out of state plates.
Gotcha. So, but
Yeah.
the Bower Fox, did they move? Did you verify that they did move?
Well, they own new property.
They own new property as of April, so
Whether they're living there or not, I guess,
Right.
would be up in the air.
it's hard to say.
But it's further away, a little
Gotcha.
bit.
I'm gonna try to see. Hold on just a second. Oops, I'm back at Worsham's. Okay. No, that's a school. Okay. Yes, we went by their neighborhood just because. But people were asking. I made Mr. E slow down a lot. Because we got so many people last time talking about how fast he was driving. Although you're flying again.
No, he's not.
I'm just kidding. And then he waited for this car too cautiously, and I fussed at him.
Well,
I was like, "This car is taking forever."
Because I feel bad for the neighbors, and I just didn't want to be any nuisance to any neighbor at all if I could help it.
Okay, so that's okay. Hold on one second. I want to stop there for a second.
So I was like, I don't even want this guy to have to think about tapping his brakes as they go.
That's kind of sweet.
I do feel bad for them. They didn't ask for all this.
Right. Okay, I'm going to go back to this and stop it. I want to show you guys something. Okay. So right here, you see this house with all the vehicles? That's the house that had the flashlight video. Because you can see all the vehicles.
Yep.
If you
You're just seeing it from the opposite direction.
You're seeing it from the opposite way.
Yes.
So where we are now is kind of where that car was, probably pretty close.
I don't know.
Where the lights come on.
I believe Gray Hughes is trying to suggest that the person that backed out, if there is a vehicle, allegedly, that they backed out and went into the neighborhood towards the construction site, which I think that would not make any sense.
The video doesn't show that to us.
No, it doesn't show that, but I'm just saying that was
his theory.
I think it was Gray Hughes. I might be getting it wrong. It's definitely possible I'm getting it wrong, because honestly, guys, there's so many people talking about this, I get confused.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to go on a little bit.
Well, the neighbor's seen, and Bobby has had it described to her.
Okay, so here is, I think I made you stop around here and said, hey, stop. Well, I thought I did. What? Okay, we did the cameras. Oh, okay. I don't know.
I gotta tell you,
I did.
Can we just click share bear real quick?
Click share bear.
Yeah, because I've thought about this too.
Okay.
Share bear says, I think she drugged him. I bet he was wound up from a day of fun. That was probably him passing out. Accidental or not, I kind of wonder if something was some sedative wasn't used, even if it was an accident or just a way to make it easier to do the terrible deed. And when he fell, maybe that was the thud, and then something along those lines. It wouldn't surprise me if drugs were involved. I've kind of thought that.
Sounds like
Seth said that in an interview, didn't he?
Well, Seth had mentioned melatonin, and I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Is that what you were going to say?
No.
Trying to talk too.
Sorry, Olivia. Go ahead.
Oh no, I don't know which medication. I just know that Seth had said he thought she gave him too much sleeping medication.
In another interview later, someone, may have been Betty, asked what kind of medication he thought that she had overdosed him on, and he said melatonin.
Oh,
okay.
Right. I think we all,
right.
Olivia and Aunt E probably remember that our conversation last time about that, about me calling poison control twice because my daughter kept drinking my son's melatonin. And I'm really not a bad parent. I know that sounds terrible, but anyway, you can't. But basically, what Poison Control told me, the moral of the story is that you can't overdose on melatonin. So I would think it would have had to have been something stronger.
Well, I was thinking more like, like the sedative types,
Right.
just to get him in such a relaxed state that he would be easier to handle.
Well, yes, there are things like that for sure.
That she might have done something like that, like given multiple Xanax or, the different ones that you can do.
Yeah.
That she probably has a prescription for him anyway for high anxiety moments and things like that.
Okay. I'm going to go over this real quick. This is, the area around where the flashlights, if you believe the flashlight stuff.
Everybody's agreeing you cannot OD on melatonin.
No, you cannot.
And
Okay.
maybe,
I'm sorry he went so slow this time, and there's got to be a happy medium. I'm just saying, he's speeding up a bit. Good.
Well, I can't be video because the finger will be over the
Yeah,
camera.
he's not allowed to take pictures or video.
All
either.
out of focus.
So you've got to be the driver. We'll get a happy medium. But I was going to show you guys. Okay, so somebody had messaged me about this, and I zoom in on it so you guys will see. That tiny little door there is their crawl space. And someone had asked me to get a picture of it. So I wanted to zoom in on it for that person. And I will be sending it.
I mean, I have heard, it may not be a likely theory, but I have heard the theory that he's still in the home.
Yes.
That maybe they,
but and Bobby
may not have, without a warrant, had access to the crawl space.
Well, Bobby said that in her interview with JLR that a neighbor did help Katie search the crawl space.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well,
I heard that.
The first day?
Yes,
Was this the
that
first
morning.
Day? Oh, okay. Well, then, okay, well, good. We can kind of
rule that out.
I would say we can rule that out then. But that was a theory I've heard before.
But okay, you're gonna see that the alleged new car, but it has been there a while. If it's not her new car, it's been there a while. There's the alleged new car, and they do have the sign in their driveway, but they've got a lot of junk. If you can see, guys, let me see if I can zoom in. I have junk too, so I'm not judging their junk. I'm just saying, well, shoot, I don't know how to make it bigger, but you can kind of see. Maybe if I take us out of here, you can kind of see they've just got a lot of stuff going on back here, and maybe they are renovating. I don't know.
There is a door. You can see the door.
Yeah, you can see the door. There's just a lot of stuff, and what?
Well,
what were you going to say?
Know.
What?
Did Ali search the crawl space?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Because Ali has not been transparent with us about things.
We don't know.
So,
is that a door though? It is a door.
I'm trying to see if I can zoom. See, I can zoom in on my computer, but I don't know how to zoom in on this. So I apologize, guys.
Yeah,
but it's definitely something. Let me look closer. There's a thing for hoses. There's some traffic cones.
Not that much junk. That's an air conditioning, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And a trash can.
Yeah, there's an air conditioning unit there, a trash can, a hose thing, and a door.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's typical people. Well, it's typical people junk. I mean, not junk, but things that are outside, and their air conditioner makes it look like there's like things, and it's really not.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I see the unit sticking out.
And somebody was talking about this door. There is a garage door.
Yeah, and that one has a code access, also, I believe.
Right. Do you have something, Olivia?
Sorry, I had to step away for a second. I just got back.
Okay, we're just discussing the garage. They have a door out there. But it could be a door for anything. They could, we don't know what they're doing. There is a garage door there. We had talked about the crawl space.
Yes.
That's basically it. But people were asking about that. If they were renovating to get ready to sell. I don't know.
There had been rumors in the community that they were going to sell, but we have not heard anything definite.
Well, yeah,
we'd heard rumors.
Yeah. Jennifer says, I guarantee that Ellie searched every inch of that home. They said they searched it 10 or 12 times.
Yes.
So
you would think you would think.
But Olivia, correct me if I'm wrong, with Gannon, didn't they search the house?
Yes, they did.
Well,
they did.
Like more than once, right?
Right. Yes,
And he was there the whole time.
And where was that child?
Well, he was actually
What?
in a car. He was actually in a trunk of a rental car.
But wasn't he at one
then
point in a suitcase in the house or a truck?
She ended up putting him in a suitcase. Yeah, in the trunk. I don't know exactly where she did it, but yeah, in the trunk, and then drove, all the way to Florida and threw it off a bridge.
Because it's not so it's not impossible, because I there's another story. I think I've mentioned this a few weeks ago, but there was a Crime Junkies I was listening to, and that this lady had gone missing. Nobody knew where she was, and she was in the laundry room just under clothes, and so I mean
oh my gosh, that's a lot of clothes.
I know, just under a pile of clothes. They just didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't at that time. They were thinking she was like disappeared. They weren't thinking foul play at that point. But they had searched her apartment or her home or whatever it was. It's been a few months.
Okay.
But so it's possible that these things can happen. And like the suitcase, I thought that's the case you were talking about. I wasn't
I know,
sure.
and back to what I was saying is that we heard about cases. We heard about Summer Wells. We heard about Tabitha Tudors. We've heard about things. We've never dug into anything the way we have this.
Oh no.
Right.
And we are going to, we have really been talking lately too about the Caleb Harris case. Mm-hmm. So we'll be digging into that some more too.
We're just trying to make sure we've got all of our facts correct before we present.
Right, exactly.
I do want to tell you that, I'm sorry, there's a little lapse in time. That yes, Gannon was in a suitcase in the closet. I just read it in chat. So yes, when they first searched, he was in the closet. So, you're right about that. It could have, they had already searched, and he was considered a runaway as well. Yeah. It's crazy.
How old was he, Olivia?
Gannon was 11.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I would have to Google to be sure. 11 or 12. I think 12.
I wonder what that was. Who was ended up being the perpetrator? Was it the mother?
Mother.
So she's sitting there in the living room.
The stepmother.
So she's sitting there. She's sitting there in the living room, knowing that people are searching her home, and that he's right there. I wonder,
how do you do that?
I wonder what kind of stress she was feeling in that moment.
And Tit for Tat says he was also medicated for ADHD.
Yeah, he was 11 years old. He was 11.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And Tit for Tat said, I can't get over them not wanting their last name out there. How would people know who to contact to offer help? That was what was a big red flag to Mrs. Z when she heard it as well.
Oh, I definitely called Aunt E and said, you are not going to believe this.
Yeah.
I think a day or two, you could almost kind of think people are just in such a crazy state of mind that they're not, but a week went by and that was wild. That was really a big red flag.
Someone asked, isn't there a drainage ditch in behind their house that needs to be checked?
I can go backward in the video so you can see it. But it's not much. I mean, people that don't live here make a bigger deal out of this ditch than it is. It's really more like a stream.
It's very shallow too. I mean, it's not something that that was all area that was searched.
It's the kind of ditch that's dry when there's no rain,
Right. Exactly. There it is.
Yeah. It was all of that was searched.
Yeah, and that is definitely behind their house. That runs all the way behind their house, and there's little trees on either side. And when you look at it overhead, it looks like it's deeper and more tree filled than it actually is. Because the first time I took him out there, because he had listened to a lot of the YouTubers, and they were talking about the forest behind his house and all these different things. And I said, "There's not a forest behind his house," because Aunt E and I went out there. And I said, it's just like sparse trees. Mm-hmm. But overhead, at people looking at Google Maps that are not here, it looks like a lot, and it's not. It's just some sparse trees here and there that are full.
Yeah, it's not
a forest by any means. It looks like this.
And you know, the more I think about it, and this, of course, is where the flashlight stuff is supposed to have happened. And
I think, yeah.
More I think about it, if I were going to try to approach that house without being seen, this is the direction I would go, because you don't have to go. It makes sense because your car doesn't have to go very far into the neighborhood. So you get out, you go through here. You know, there's probably not very many cameras in this backyard,
Right.
if any. That you can kind of have a little cover of trees and weeds and make your way to the back of the house and back. It's probably the sneakiest way to get to that house. I mean, you don't want to go through the front door, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the construction. So right, there's only two ways in and out of the neighborhood. You either go out back to Long Hollow, which is you only have to go past 3 or 4 homes, or you have to go up the giant hill into the construction
I
zone,
can jump
then
ahead
back
to that.
down through a different neighborhood to get to
Oh.
Long Hollow also.
That's where it stops.
So you would you make the choice to either go past 3 or 4 homes or go past like 80? And you'd have to drive through the construction zone, which would be super muddy, and you'd leave like your tire tracks and everything.
Right.
So I don't see any feasible reason they would have. I think I know you and I are in agreement on this.
Yeah.
We think that the construction zone is a false trail, red herring, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
That there's nothing to that area. I don't think there is. I don't think they used it. I don't know if they picked up a false scent or what happened up there, or maybe Sebastian had played there a day or two before or something. But I don't think it's a part of the story.
Well, there are theories out there that people put stuff over there to throw people off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the blackout theory.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And Chris and Katie both harp on it and mention that construction area. So that also makes me think that they know that that's a fake direction.
Well, I'm going to
That's
pull up
just
this
my
other
thinking.
video because this it demonstrates it better. But you guys keep talking. I'm going to pull up another video.
Do we want to do the lolly thing today?
We can or not. Let's ask the chat.
Well, they're going to say yes.
They're going to say yes. They
Of
always
course
say
they do.
yes.
Olivia, have you listened to the lolly interview? Do you know what we're talking about?
Yes, I do.
With the
I do.
Okay,
I've
and-
listened
and-
to it.
okay, great.
Okay. I just want to show something real quick, and this won't last long. I promise. Okay. So this is this is the original Speedy video, and we're driving from the main road on Long Hollow Pike all the way up the hill to the construction
I
site.
want to take this off just a second so we can see good.
Okay. Yes, Karen. Do you mean the crazy mannequin in the barn or in the woods?
The one that they had in the woods that you heard about on the radio, probably.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing, and I
That
don't know,
was so
I don't
weird.
know for sure, but I'm guessing it's part of that farm with the mannequins that dress people up. So I'm going to guess that's what that was.
I have heard people talk about this
Okay.
with mannequins before. Sometimes
Okay.
people do it to scare off trespassers and things like that.
Oh,
And you also point out there when you all were at the construction site, there is nothing blocking that road. I know
there is now. Mhm.
But Bullhorn Betty was talking about that this morning when she was driving around, and it was not there before. That vehicle is new.
Right. Yes, Karen, there are more than one. There's one in a barn.
There's one in a barn too. Out on
But
Long
he's like
Hollow.
waving. He's
Yeah.
dressed like a farmer.
Yeah.
I think it's just supposed to be a joke.
It's supposed to be kind of funny, I think. There's one in downtown Nashville that's dressed up like Batman. It's just people just think it's funny, I think.
Okay, so that's
People
the
do stuff like
construction
that.
site. And as you can see, I like to point out the fact that this is all that red clay, heavy dirt. It doesn't do that justice here, but it's really red. And there's no way anybody would have driven through there without getting tons of tracks or maybe even stuck in the mud unless they had a nice a vehicle that wouldn't do that.
And we know it was like that then too, because
Yes.
police have commented on it.
Yes.
So it was not like all dry and all that.
I'm going to jump
So anybody
ahead.
that had gone through here as a getaway would have left their tracks
I'm
and
actually,
had and risked blowing a tire and everything in that rocky
And
area.
not to mention, if he had really traveled out of the house on foot through that area, it would have been very easy to find footprints in that.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually
And I
gonna-
mean, even by car, like if they
Oh,
were
yeah.
third party, you could probably drive through that construction area and go down to that neighborhood to get out. but why would you do that?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to jump
You know,
ahead a
you're
bit.
just exposing yourself to more sightings and cameras.
Mhm.
I would
It's
think
not,
you want to take the quickest way out.
Rosebud said, is that private property? It's just, if you're talking about where the red clay dirt was, no, that's a new construction site that's going to, they're building houses in another subdivision that will connect to their subdivision. So it's just,
But it's, you know, it's very far away from Sebastian's house. He would have had to pass 20 cameras to get up there.
yes, he would have been seen somewhere en route.
I'm trying to find, I'm going to go back just a hair more. Just so that, okay. Oh, this is, sorry. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay. So right here, oh wait, no, sorry.
So Jennifer Loring says that Chris said that Farmer has been doing that with the mannequin since he was a child. Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess that guy with the barn or whatever. Yeah, it's just.
And I have video of it.
I've seen folks do that before with the mannequins, and you know, it's just kind of.
Okay, what? Okay, I don't know. I was going to show you guys that it makes absolute no sense for if you believe in the flashlight video, it makes absolutely no sense for someone to have gone through the neighborhood as opposed to coming out, as opposed to just backing all the way out to Stafford.
Merge said, is Guy's company the design build firm for this subdivision? I have no
idea. Mm-hmm.
We did not look at the signs very closely when we were in there. We were looking at just clues in the streets, and we weren't focusing really on much else.
Yeah. So, okay.
This is a good theory.
Okay, so we're coming off right here. We're coming off of Stafford Court, and turning onto Kellen Lane, and so this would have been the path to get out. This is going to be the path of least resistance with least cameras.
Yeah, and I want to just read this from Emily 53. The blackout theory is possible, and I feel Sebastian was drowned in the retention pond, hence the scratches on CP, then transported 3 hours, 37 minutes for disposal. That's why dogs hid on the pond. Yeah, there's a lot there, actually, a lot of different.
But why do it that close to your house?
Well,
if you're going to drown him, take him. Why wouldn't they have taken him somewhere where it couldn't be seen on camera?
Well, the pond, you wouldn't see it on
camera.
I
agree with that.
Well, no, I think it's the retention pond's not. Yeah, I believe it is. Or correct me if I'm wrong. It's behind the houses, right? Anybody?
Right. Yes.
So they would have it could have been seen or picked up. If your plan was to drown, then why would you drown there? There's plenty of waterways that are not seen on camera.
Well, okay, forget about the
I'm gonna pull this down
part.
because I can't remember where I'm looking for.
Forget about the pond part, but the other stuff we have, at least we've never discussed, I'm sure some other folks have considered, is Chris's direct involvement.
Okay.
So what she's suggesting is that we've never talked about the scratches on Chris's arms.
No, we haven't talked about that at all.
And we've never talked about the possibility of him even coming into town to do this. I don't think we've ever really directly discussed it. And I think the reason I've kind of stayed away from that is because I don't know how to confirm it one way or the other. Yeah.
This is for you, Karen.
There's the mannequin.
There's the mannequin.
There he is up there.
Yeah, you kind of see him on the left or whatever. There's
oh my gosh.
Then there's one in the woods somewhere that the police called in. But yeah, this little guy's always kind of smiling at you or whatever.
And he's dressed like a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could zoom in more, I would. I don't think I zoomed in. Oh, I did.
But
there you go.
I have considered that maybe we could even do a whole episode on the Chris angle, because we haven't really done it, about if it's a possibility for him to have come from Memphis here and go through all that. That's why we haven't discussed it, because it's been a difficult thing to consider as a possibility or know how to verify one way or the other. I mean, we're told that he was there at 5:15 for work. I can't verify that as a fact. You know,
Right.
there's some weird things about
Oh,
his story. Like, you remember when they
That's
asked
a
him
great
about
point.
the moving of his cell phone? Like they said, because you know how like if your phone is moving during a conversation, there's ways to track and tell if it's just being laying still for 3 hours or
Mhm.
if he's been walking around. And he dodged and wouldn't answer that question. He said that law enforcement has told him not to discuss that.
And like that would have no bearing on law enforcement telling you not to say anything.
Right. So why wouldn't he just answer that simple question that would clearly make him seem like an innocent person? Law enforcement didn't tell him that. We know they didn't. There'd
Okay.
be no reason for them to. So that is one of those things that makes you think that possibly, okay, maybe he did lay down the camera and drive to Hendersonville because he didn't want to answer the question. You
Okay.
know?
So
Okay,
you mean
sorry.
phone? Okay. So the few things I want
Oh,
to cover,
phone.
I want a few things I want to cover is Karen says the mannequin has now become a character in the story, which is hysterical.
true.
I've been laughing at your remarks. And then Merge thinks this would make a great thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Crazy
That's-
mannequin.
What role did mannequin play? Or something, right?
But this was very interesting. This is a
Okay.
great.
Charlene Haggerty. You have to remember also other people in the neighborhood have dogs. They would bark if anyone was walking around, bringing attention to the homeowner.
That's a great point. So that, I mean, if that's the case, maybe the flashlights, maybe that's not what that is. It looks like flashlights to me. I don't know. Did anybody watch Betty's live today? Betty had a live and she was there at like 4 a.m.
Well, they would know who had outdoor dogs and who didn't.
I mean,
there weren't any fences on that side.
I just wonder if we're giving them more credit than they deserve as far as like being that prepared to do something.
I mean, my theory.
Maybe a dog barked. We don't know a dog didn't bark.
But that neighborhood, they would have probably be in a fenced in area, and most of those yards aren't fenced in.
You're right, because the Proudfoots is, and there's some fenced ones backing up to them the other direction, but through there it's all open.
Right.
So
I mean, a lot of them are just open yards. I noticed that because I was looking at the fences.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sidewalks. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a thought though.
Yeah,
that's something to think about.
Yeah.
And another thing that Betty pointed out, there is more light than they first said, you know, that there was a lot of houses with lights, but you don't know that since all this has happened, people haven't added more lights or decided to leave on their lights. I mean,
or added cameras.
Circumstances.
Exactly.
I mean, it would make me want to add a camera. If that had happened, you know, in my neighborhood, I would want to make sure I had cameras set up so that I could see what was going on around my home. And it would spur me to do that. So I don't think just because of footage that you get today, nothing against her, but I don't think that the only time you could be accurate is if you went right after it happened and took footage, because things can change based on the circumstances.
I agree.
I mean, I think it's great to look at it, but I don't think you can gauge what you saw today or yesterday or even last week on what it was like there then.
Jennifer.
Right. Thank you, Jennifer
Loring. Thank you so much. She figured it out, guys.
She's not on an iPhone, I suppose.
You must not be on an iPhone because we can't figure it out. We've had a lot of people come and go and want to join and they can't figure it out. But thank you, Jennifer. We're going to do something cool for members as far as like confetti or something in the future. Actually, I take that back because I don't want to have to clean something up.
We didn't get any answers to our questions.
What question?
About whether we were going on with the other part.
What are you talking about?
The Nettie, is it Nettie or what was her name?
Lolly.
Oh,
okay. Do they want us to? Do they want us to go on?
I don't know. Did we get anything?
I don't. Honestly,
we started talking about the dummy.
Oh, right. I did that for Karen. I'm sorry. I got a sidetracked. Okay, tit for tat's all for it.
Says, let's do it.
Tit for tat, you've got more energy than we do. Let's see.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, that's a there. You know, I can't remember the name of that video. Will you read that?
Has anybody seen the footage from one channel that has enhanced or manipulated, or where it's on the house, how it all comes together?
Yeah, they kind of overlay.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, but honestly, meme minds, I don't remember whose video it is, because like I said, I have a timeline that's got a lot of the major important videos, but I can't keep up anymore. There's so many videos.
I know, it's really hard to keep up. Let's see. And then Rosebud said, right, we had family thing happen, and now we have 3 cameras on our house. Many could have added the camera since this happened. I would think that absolutely there's a very good chance a lot of them added cameras after this.
And I do want to say, I hear this on a lot of the creators' channels that say, you know, oh, those are $700,000 houses and they don't have cameras. And I'm not trying to defend the Proudfoots. I'm really not. But there are a lot of houses that are worth more than the Proudfoots houses that I know for a fact don't have cameras. It's just because of where we live. We're in a, you know, it's not that, it's not.
Yeah, it's a low crime area.
It's a low crime area.
Yeah, it's a very safe area.
It's the kind of place you can let your kids go play, you know,
in the neighborhood.
Yeah. and not worry. So, up until and the reason I take offense to this is up until recently we didn't have those either. We do now. But we didn't either. So J for Justice is the Ruckus video. Okay. Oh, the Ruckus, I think did
that's why I wasn't sure exactly.
The Ruckus is different though from the flashlight video.
Yeah.
Guidance has the light video. That's the one. Will you write that down? Guidance. That's the one I was thinking of. And I think Karen said do a confetti GIF in the background. If you can send me instructions, Karen, on how to do a confetti GIF in the background, I will totally do that. And what kind of neighborhood has no street lights? Well, I'll tell you what kind. Their neighborhood does not have a HOA, like a homeowner's thing. And that's common around here, that there are neighborhoods that do not have HOA stuff.
And it's not super new. I mean, it's
an older neighborhood.
Established.
Yeah. Is something wrong?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can you tell?
Yeah.
So, and they also don't have sidewalks, and so that's common with neighborhoods that are not covered by like a management company, like I don't know, different management companies. I can set up that video.
Your
if you
sound
tell me
went
what
out.
time. Is it
sound,
gone?
Oh, you're back on now, but it was completely out. You were just talking.
Oh no.
Oh, I was gonna say I can pull up the lolly video if that's what everybody wants.
Oh wait, before you do, merge meme of mannequins singing for new members.
That would be amazing.
That's really good.
That would be amazing. Okay. If somebody could create a meme of the mannequin.
Right. You're sending out a lot of missions.
Well, I can't, I try.
Our daughter.
There's a lot of people talking about the Ruckus video. They think it's not legitimate. And there's a lot of people that have said it's bogus, or they think it's not a good video.
Well, I will say that there's a reason we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, we try to deal with the factual.
When I saw it, me personally, this is just my opinion. This is not the opinion of the channel because I don't know what you two think. But my opinion of it is I was very dismissive of it because it really just looked like leaves in front of a floodlight.
That's what I think it looks like too.
Karen says she's going to be haunted.
That's funny.
She's going to be haunted by that mannequin. Maybe we can go talk to the farmer and he'll let us do a selfie with it.
You need a close up.
And I know we've got some folks that have joined since we started our first hour. I just want to mention, in case you joined it because you saw the title on the episode, what the new leads what we're referring to there, that was the Nick Barris report. He did a report where he says that there are 2 new leads or tips involving Sebastian, and that there's including a sighting out in East Tennessee. So that's really what we discussed the first hour. And then we kind of went into some other topics about the, different car and different things like that. But in case you just joined us, I knew some of your
background. Oh, okay.
I just wanted to mention it. That is what we had been talking about earlier, but that's really the big news. It kind of breathes a little new life into this story. We don't know what to make of those leads, how serious they are, but they seemed important enough to the police to at least give that information to Nick and let him forward that on to the public. So they did it for some reason.
Right.
I'm hopeful that it means that there's real movement in the case, but we don't know.
And just if you are just now joining, this mannequin has nothing to do with the case.
This is not a lead.
This is not a lead.
Yeah.
This is us tormenting one of our members. No, I'm just kidding.
And Marcia said, how would Katie remove Sebastian and hold a flashlight? I believe someone was waiting in the house to help her remove him or came home with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're at a third party.
We're back at the third party.
Yep. I would not have thought that a month ago, but I think that's very likely now that it's a third party.
And I think my third party theory involves possibly the third party actually removing him and meeting another party part of the way. And then that's where the disposal was taking place.
Okay.
That's my newest theory.
Whoops. I am really not, you guys, I'm just off today with all my video stuff. Okay, so I found the Lolly video.
Because our producer's not here.
Our producer's not here. He's on a date. And
he better dealt us.
He did. I can't blame him. I would go on a date. You want to talk about this?
Let's let it run a bit. And
okay, you'll have to stop it because I'm going to take a break to go to the restroom. Because
I'll stop it if I think there's anything we want to.
And I'm going to pull down, Karen. I'm pulling down the old thing. Okay, so you will have to run it here, and then you'll have to go back over here to see. Okay, do you understand?
I don't.
Okay, so if you want to play it, you're sharing your screen here.
Okay. You
hit play here, and then when you want to stop it and see what everybody's talking about, you got to go back over to that tab.
Why don't you just hit play, and then I can stop it if I need to. Would that not work?
I can't hit play on here.
Okay.
You have to go over here.
Let me see you do it, and I should be able to.
So I don't know where you want to play.
Oh, I don't either. I don't know wherever it starts, I suppose.
Okay, it's not. Oh, I've got it muted.
When we were driving down it, and so we went down to the.
She's talking right now. She's talking about how she got involved in the case. And so, do you want to kind of give a rundown of who this lady is, or do you know?
I do not know as well as you do.
Can you give a rundown on this?
Yeah, this lady had helped initially reached out and wanted to help with the search. She actually lived close to the area where they thought there was a sighting in North Carolina. She actually was the lady that went there and was questioned extensively by the people at the park and questioned, and she said interrogated basically, but she is giving her account of that as well as her correspondence back and forth. She basically developed a relationship with not relationship but a friendship with Chris Proudfoot, and they he would update her on the case frequently, and she would ask him questions, and she was very candid with him with her questioning. He answers some questions but not others, but I found the information very insightful, so I think everybody else will too.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I only actually heard about half of this interview because I came in on it late, I think. So I haven't heard the beginning.
And I
so
agree
to see
with Texas Brat. I like Lolly. I do. I like her. She lets her talk, and I thought she did a great job with the interview.
Yeah, this was the first time I'd heard anything from her, so that it was good what I heard.
And could I ask everybody real quick before we get started again, if you wouldn't mind to like our video, that helps us with the algorithm. And if you like our content, we would appreciate it if you subscribe. And I believe we have, you can, if you really feel passionate about it, you can become a member. And they have super chats and all those things that we're trying to still understand. So let's see. All right, so I'm going to show you one more time, Mystery.
Yeah, I think I got it.
So it's this tab to play.
Okay.
This tab to go back.
Okay.
Got it.
There's some really good questions we can talk about later, but yeah, some of you guys have got some great questions.
Would you rather go ahead and do the questions? Because I'm stepping out to the restroom.
Well, we could do a couple questions while you go to the restroom, and then maybe by the time we've done
Okay,
those questions,
sure.
you'll be back.
Yeah,
That sounds good.
One of the things somebody said, this is a great question. We're back to Karen. Karen said, was Chris an avid hunter? And if so, where did he hunt? That's a good question. I don't think he was a hunter. He had been in the military at one point, but that's a good question. That would be a good area to search in.
Have you ever heard this, Olivia? Have you ever heard him refer to hunting? Oh, okay. She might have stepped away too.
She might.
Well, one reason I was thinking about that too was we were talking about that the spray you can do to mask your scent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we were wondering, well, if he was a hunter, he might be pretty familiar with that, but also military, he might also. But that is a good question.
Hunting areas are a good place to search.
Yeah, and if he was a hunter, then there might be lots of good remote areas that he's familiar with.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was
I can't remember him ever talking about being
I don't think
a hunter. So if he is, he's never that I've heard publicly talk about it.
And then Rosebud said, my thought is the scent that the dog took is the scent of the unidentified car leaving, allegedly. We do know that there were some hits, or at least they say there were some hits, but very few hits, and they didn't go anywhere. And correct me, Mr. E, but what were the hits that we know for sure?
That they made it to the driveway and didn't go any further than that, and that the dumpster up on the construction site, which would be up at the hill. And what they had said about the dumpster was that when the dog hit on that, they just flew a drone over it to look down inside, and nothing was there. And then that was one of the reasons that they later went and searched that Kentucky landfill, was because that was the landfill where that dumpster went. And I think there's other reports that that's the neighborhood trash that goes to Kentucky, but they checked the other dump sites where the neighborhood trash went to also, but that one in Kentucky was specific to that dumpster. Bobby actually clarifies that when she does that interview with JLR.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you've listened to that, then she kind of explains. It's a little hard to me. She's always a little hard to follow because she was so kind of excited about the interview. But that is how she just described it. The other hit was that pond, so the retention pond back there that a dog basically leapt into the water, and so why we don't know.
Yeah, and there have been people that have said, maybe they threw something of his in the pond to get a scent. But dogs can also have false hits, and But I know that was one that the dog handler actually said the dog had never done the way he responded. The dog had never done that before.
I'm going to go back into this article later because it's a great article on tracking and trailing dogs and all this kind of thing. I'm like, it goes into the kind of the science. But I'll need more time. But just a little bit I was reading, it sounds like that scents can kind of blow with wind. And so sometimes dogs can get on the wrong path or trail over time. The scent can kind of change over time.
Mm-hmm.
So but I want to do a deeper read into this to make sure I understand it before I really talk about it. So I'll do that before the next show, and maybe I'll share that article because that's just not a topic I know a lot about, or with these dogs. But just a little bit I read while we were doing the show tonight had some great information, but I want to do a deeper read on that and make sure I understand it. So anyway, but it sounds like that might be possible, that it could be just like a scent blew, like moved.
Mm-hmm.
And that can happen over time.
You want to read Merge's comment? That's a good
Sure.
conclusion as well.
Merge never saw light from the mystery car door opening before the flashlight descended back, which is why I feel it's possibly a truck. Yeah, like the interior light.
Yeah,
the door opens, so that you could. It's possible to have it's possible that they turned that off before they got there, there are ways to do that just depending on the car. It's just whether or not they were thoughtful enough to do that beforehand. But then, of course, they also made the mistake of turning on their headlights when they left, or at least I would assume that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was on purpose because, a car driving with headlights off might actually look more suspicious. I don't know. But to me, it seems like that might have been an error. But you can turn those interior lights off if on most cars you can, where that it doesn't open when the door opens.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good thought. So yes, I think possible too.
And this is a good point. Tit for Tat said, I still think Katie wore his shoes to create a fake trail.
Oh wow. Yeah, so you're the diabolical kind of premeditation. I mean, you do have to kind of think about just their background. They've got the military background. She's got the security camera background. That's one of the reasons I always wonder, like, how premeditated it was. Was it like 2 days before or a month, or whatever? Because if it's several weeks where they were talking it back and forward and going through their plan and all that, then maybe they did think of things like that, like ways to trick the police or whatever.
And Karen said, I wonder if they were true crime buffs. That could also have a bearing on the way that things were done.
It's funny that you say that, because we were listening to him talking in one, I don't know if it's a Sling Blade one, I'm not sure which one it was, where he was talking just kind of casually, and he was really going into detail, like he really knew about the Summer Wells case. And do you remember that? Because we were like, ooh, red flag.
Yeah, he's very familiar with several Summer Wells. But was it a matter of it recent or in the past before? Like, did he become familiar with it because of what's going on in his life now, or was it before?
Too. This is interesting.
I wonder if they did a good enough search of the landfill.
I don't think so. I think
it was done very quickly, within a day.
Right.
It's a very difficult task. If that's where he ended up being, he might still be there. It's possible. I mean, if you've ever been out to those places when those bulldozers start,
it's awful,
shoving stuff around. I mean, they move fast and they crush things. And I don't know, but I would imagine a dog picking up a scent and that stuff would be very difficult,
right,
to do, and buried under, tons of garbage and all kinds of stinky, gross stuff. I don't know what the odds are of finding a body that way, but I would think it's low.
Okay. I also wanted to tell you guys, while I was out, I looked at my phone and I figured out how to find memberships on your phone. Okay. Oh. So if you go, this is the video. Whoops. I'm going to try to put it up there. It's probably not straight, but anyway, if you look at our video, if you're on the live on the YouTube app, you'll see description. And it says more. You click on the more, and then it's at the very bottom there. Become a member.
Oh. And then it takes you to a new browser.
Yeah, you have to go to a new browser, but it does have it there. So.
And then it says join, but there's still nowhere to share like memberships, is there?
Yeah, I don't understand what the heck that is. I have no idea. I one step at a time for Mrs. E. She's, I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, but yeah, that's great that you found it.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm back. Do you guys want to?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know exactly what we want to talk about on this, other than, there are, I believe, some people saying that, they felt like she was not real. I did hear that.
I think she's real.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it's obvious she's reading her chat in real time.
Yeah, you can just tell by the way she's reading it and going through, and she can tell you the dates right there. Well, this was on this date, this was on that date, and she can tell you. So it sounds very legitimate. Plus, I remember her being interviewed about the North Carolina going to the visitor center thing and being interrogated.
Right.
And I guess Chris could always come out and refute all of it, and then she'd have her recorded chats, right?
No, I don't think she records. She has
She's
the
got
she has the
messages.
in Messenger on Facebook, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
But I
she
mean-
did say she talked to him live a few times.
Yes, I think
so.
she's talked to him on the phone too.
Yeah, some of
Yes,
it
I
is
heard
phone
that
calls,
as
right?
well.
Okay, well, let me see what I'm going to skip ahead because she's talking about the North Carolina stuff, which we kind of already went over.
And Chris hasn't talked in a while, has he? He's still not talking to.
No, I think that they finally realized that
Yeah.
everybody's analyzing everything they say.
A lot of construction there. And he said no, and that there was no businesses around there that had basements. Because I was thinking, well, if he did go off
That's not
on his own and it was dark and all he had was his little flashlight, we don't know how long that was going to hold up or whatever. And maybe he fell down in it and got hurt and just couldn't get back out of it. So, and nobody would have hurt him if it was out there. And he says that there's no business around there and he said they don't have basements. And he said, I really want to tell you, thank you so much for all your help in spreading flyers as well. My wife and I are so grateful for all your help you and your daughter have done to help us. And so when we got ready to leave, we went through and we went to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. We went by and seen Seth first. We met his mom and his dad and talked to him, that I wanted to get more flyers because we were going to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So we went down there and we handed out flyers everywhere.
I'm actually, honestly, I wish we had the timestamps for this, but essentially there's at one point when she's talking about the directions that was interesting.
Well, do you want to do this next time? Then?
Yeah, maybe we'll just do this next time because I feel like I'm prepared.
Yeah, we can go through this and get the timestamps.
Well, maybe we can go through and do some timestamps about the events throughout so we know where to go to, because there's some really good dialogue and she asks some excellent questions that he does give her some answers to. And I really feel like it's some good information because she's had interaction with Seth. She's had interaction with his Seth's family and also Chris. So I think it's a lot of good information.
And didn't you take some notes on that?
I think I do. I was looking for them today and I couldn't find them. I was kind of having to hurry to get ready because I was so busy. Okay, but I can take some more.
Okay, Olivia, did you watch this interview?
Yes, I did. Okay,
what were your thoughts on it?
I feel like that she is legit. I was surprised that Chris talked to her that long, to be honest. And then after she, in this live, she says that she's going to still try to talk to him, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. I think
after her,
Yeah, I think you burn that bridge once you start talking.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but he did stay in touch with her a long time through this, and that was great.
He did.
I thought it was interesting that he was giving her places to look.
He specifically gave her directions, north to northwest or something like that.
Yeah, I found that very odd in a way. Like she said in the video, he probably should be having law enforcement do that part. Go to,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, she did. She's like, yeah. And Merge says appeared she had documented everything, which is good. Absolutely. I think that's why you can tell it's very authentic because she's basically reading it off of her phone. You can tell it's not something that she is making up off the top of her head.
Right.
And I think, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure she said she was turning that part in to Ellie. The part of where he gave her directions to look. Pretty sure she said she was turning that in, but I can't be 100% sure.
Yeah, our son, he was saying that is probably the exact opposite direction.
Yeah, that was a good point he made.
Yeah, another thing I remember him saying, not in this interview, but another time, he said where he goes, maybe one day he'll just be found in the woods or something like that.
It was a very odd comment.
Which made me think, okay, so
Mhm.
maybe it's not the woods, it'll be like a lake or something else.
Right.
You know,
You want to go to, our rule of thumb is go the opposite of what Chris says.
Yeah.
So,
and unless he just kind of slipped. And there's also a I told you so kind of aspect to him where I could almost see him wanting to, be right also.
right.
That's true too. That's a good point.
And then Karen says, I also feel that KP set her up about Grandfather Mountain because she was texting her husband all that time, in my opinion. Interesting. And Carla agrees.
Yeah, right. Because, so she, if you're not sure what she's talking about, that was that nature center where they had that, the sighting of what looked like could very well be Sebastian, turned out to not be. And she had to spend money to go up there, but he kind of urged her to do it.
It was $50 for her to go up there.
Yeah, he was urging her to go. And so if he knew that wasn't him, which he put on his own, I think, Facebook, that's not him, then he took it down. Then he kind of did her wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasting her time deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not that would be, but yeah, kind of led her around a bit. So he's not afraid to do that either.
Yeah.
If he knew that wasn't him.
There's a lot of interesting questions. I think it's definitely worth going through, even though it's been out a little, a few days. And I think it's worth going back over because I think people will find it interesting and start to develop some theories from it.
Yeah, we just might want to be a little better prepared for that with the timestamps and go through and that way we know we're not having to do the whole thing and we kind of know the points we want to hit.
I think I was thrown for a loop by the trolls at the beginning and everything. I kind of got frazzled and didn't have all my
well,
stuff
that's all
prepared.
kind of cleaned up now, it looks like. And I appreciate everybody. I do apologize for any nastiness that was going on. I miss a lot of that in the chat, but I saw a couple that were really gross. So
Granny just wanted to let us know that we're losing our audience. Granny just texted, guys.
we need to see.
Granny wanted me. She says, Aunt E, you are you all are starting to lose your audience. It was 301 and now it's 232.
It's because they want to see Granny.
Granny, they want you. That's what. If you want Granny, let's put a 1 in the.
They're trying to talk her into coming on and giving her thoughts on it, but I know she won't do it. No
put
way.
a 1 in, and if not, put a 2.
She'll never come on, so you can.
No, I know. There's zero chance.
Olivia's like, yes, I want Granny. Granny's got a lot of thoughts about the game.
It just came across my computer as well.
We ever do the Micah story? She's like the expert on that story.
She is the expert on the Micah story, but she also says it's too ugly for us to cover.
She does.
Yeah,
she knows all. She definitely knows all about it.
Yes.
Oh, we've got a lot of people wanting Granny.
Mm-hmm.
I also think the chat has slowed down a bit because, and maybe the people, because you have to be a member or you have to be subscribed for 20 minutes, and I can't figure out how to turn that off.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to make a comment. We have 263 likes, which is excellent because
awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
It says when it's Breezy is crushing on the Sandman says when you have time after the live, Mrs. E, can you set up the gifting of memberships through the iPhone? Thank you.
I would love to, except I don't know what happened because
you may have to Google it.
I'll check it out and I can message you if you want.
Oh,
I can.
Awesome!
Check it out
Thank
too.
you so much.
Thank you.
I don't understand. I don't understand why, because we've had people gift several memberships in here.
Yeah, we have.
And now you can't for some reason. Because like I said, I was going to try to gift memberships myself because I appreciate you guys so much. I will try to figure out also how to turn off the 20-minute you have to be a member thing or not member, but subscribe.
Yeah, so actually for people that are watching but haven't been able to so people can watch though.
They can watch. They just can't comment.
Yeah. So if you've been, I'm sorry that but right at the beginning of the show, if you have been watching this far and haven't been able to chat, we just had some pretty hardcore trolls come in,
like saying
We're
terrible,
really
terrible
gross
things.
things about Sebastian
Yes.
and stuff like that. So we just couldn't have that go on.
No.
So
No.
that's why we went to the subscriber only
Yes,
chat, which
Carla, it is in subscriber mode. She said, "Is it because it's in subscriber mode only?" Yes, that's why. We just don't know how to shut it off.
yeah, we'll look into that after. But we're probably getting close to the end of this today.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think we need to be wrapping it up.
Olivia,
Wrapping it up.
I appreciate you joining us like this today. We'll have to do this another time,
Thank
I think.
you.
And of course, when you do your own first, it would be your first live stream, correct?
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Do you,
well,
do
let
you
us
have?
know.
Yeah, let us know so we can, I mention it to people.
I
I'm
definitely
sure.
will.
And we'll when you select that date, when you're ready to do that, we'll be happy to mention it and pass that along. But we
Thank
appreciate your
you.
thoughts here and all your help as the moderator on our channel.
Absolutely.
But do you have
Thank you so much.
anything? Do you have anything about this case in particular? Maybe we haven't talked about, but it's kind of been on your mind that you'd like to share before we go.
Let's see. Well, I have my notes here. Let me just see.
Yeah, I know it's such a huge case. There's like so many things to go into, but I just thought there might be just something that's kind of nagged at you or stuck out to you that maybe we hadn't talked about today.
Yes. Yes. We might have, I don't think we discussed it, but the fact that Chris is so adamant that Sebastian walked out the front door and just vanished. And then he made a comment saying that someone mentioned that someone could have come to their house in way. However, he said if they were to come to the front door, they would be on that camera and talking about the neighbor across the street.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that comment just stays with me because it's like, he might as well have just thrown in the towel right then.
Right? Yes. It's like that's the problem with lying. When you have a lie, the truth slips out, and you find yourself contradicting. So, like, he knew that it was impossible for him to walk out that door, and in a moment, he forgot because he was trying to make a different point that a abductor couldn't come in the front door, and he messed up. But yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that's why I wish you were still talking. Unfortunately, it does look like they've wisened up and decided to kind of keep quiet. But yeah, I agree with you. And that's one that I don't know. We didn't know until about 2 weeks ago, that contradiction or so. But that is definitely a good one there. Auntie, you got anything you'd like to talk about before we go also?
I can't think of anything else tonight. But there's always something with this case that you think it's kind of hitting a dead spot, and then something else happens, or more little things come out, or it's kind of like an onion. You just keep peeling away the layers, and there's still more underneath. So I think just keeping our eyes and ears open, and hopefully we'll have some new information as the week goes on.
I'm sure we will, because it keeps happening. I mean, we've got at least this possible sighting of Sebastian. I mean, I think that's unlikely, but who knows? Maybe it's him. And then there's the 2 new leads, and that information was released by the police for some reason. So who knows where this thing's about to go? The police are choosing to talk to Nick for some purpose. So I don't think this case is dead in the water right now. There's something going on. We're just getting little bits. They're talking to Nick for some reason. We just don't know for sure why. But it's a good thing for sure. And I think it is an onion. There's all kinds of things still to talk about. Like I was saying earlier, when Chris came up, we haven't, as much as we've talked about this, we have not really dug into whether or not it's possible for Chris to come from Memphis
Let's do that next.
to Nashville and back. what the logistics of that would be, what he would have had to have accomplished, timeline, the phone call. Like, there's a lot to it. I know that other folks have tried to, and it's hard to verify, but maybe we can do that and see what we can see if we can eliminate or
come up with some other theories.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we pretty much eliminated Seth
We were able to do that, I think, to all of our satisfaction.
to our satisfaction. Yeah.
We've eliminated, we think, the runaway for Sebastian
To our
scenario.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Certainly the front door option. So we're kind of getting closer and closer to the truths. That's what we're trying to do here. With all of your help too. You certainly pointed out some things again today that hadn't even thought about. Some stuff I'm going to research when we get out of here tonight.
There's a few things I want to talk about.
Yeah,
real quick.
yeah. Go for it.
Solo Sock was asking who Granny is. Well, Granny is my mom E, and she likes to come in and give opinions. And we love her very much. And then this is kind of interesting because wannabe sleuthing something. I thought the same thing, except I was listening to Truth Not Feelings, another video on another case, and I would think that if it were Chris, he would just focus on this case. He wouldn't be focusing on other things.
Is this the one you thought
Yes.
might be a voice changer?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So you and Mrs. E are certainly thinking alike. If go listen to it.
Is it a podcaster?
It's a video, yeah.
It's one of those
It's a
they don't
YouTuber.
show their face, or a YouTuber. It's
But-
if you listen to kind of the cadence and the language, it could be.
It's similar.
It could be.
And I said that to him the other day in the car. Except today I was I don't know, it came up in my feed because I looked at it, right? And so today when I looked at it, he was talking about another case. So that made me go, no, not him.
Maybe not.
Because I don't know.
Unless somebody's theory earlier that maybe he's a true crime fan.
Oh, that was
he's worried about YouTubers and like money they make and things like that. He's very
the
concerned
money is
about
a
it.
problem.
He's always concerned about what money people might make at different things. So maybe he's thinking, I don't know. He pays a lot of attention to this stuff. He's gone on a lot of channels. Maybe he just thought, okay, I'll come up with a pseudonym and I'll do this.
Anna said they just got tornado warning there in Rhode Island. Well, be safe, Anna. Get off of this chat and go get in your safe space.
Yeah, sorry. Hope you're safe there.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think Jennifer was here for your Seth talk.
Well, or might just disagree. Seth
Yeah.
is still a suspect, in my opinion. He's around criminals and could have set it up.
Oh, well, that wouldn't go along with what we've said, because that's a whole different theory.
Right. Yes. So we.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I've heard people suggest that.
But I guess what would his motive be? That's my question. What would his motive be to hurt his child?
And how does this criminal get into the house if it's all locked up after?
And he's got video alibi that shows him at work.
No, that's not what Jennifer's saying. Jennifer's saying
Third party
hired.
Third party, gotcha.
Or set up. But what would the motive be? Panel, what would the motive be if he were to set something up? What would the motive be?
We've talked a lot about Seth being innocent. But one we were talking about recently was he's been begging the feds to get involved, and I don't know why. If you're a guilty person, you would beg the feds to get involved,
right?
And
yes, he could have been wanting to get back at Katie for divorcing him, but they've been divorced for several years now, and
but
I just don't think that's a reason at all.
I think I get it in that Seth in a lot of ways is not likable.
Yeah, he's done
And,
some things.
I mean, there's
yeah.
a lot of things I really don't like about him, but
That
so,
doesn't make him
it makes
guilty.
people think because he has done some bad stuff that he might be guilty here, and because of the Tony stuff and different things. I mean, he's just made some terrible decisions, but that doesn't make him guilty.
Poor judgment.
Yeah, he does have terrible judgment.
Yes.
Yes.
That's if you guys are new to our channel, poor judgment is
It's what all these people have in common.
that's the one thing.
it's
That's the one thing we know for a fact.
It is one of the few facts,
Yeah.
ironclad facts in the case. Poor judgment across the board with these people.
Let's see. There was something I saw that was interesting. Ellie has never said anyone is a suspect or person of interest, but they also haven't either, right? They also have not said they have not
Publicly,
ruled out.
they've not cleared.
They haven't
anyone.
cleared anyone.
And that officer even says that in the video with Nick Barris.
Right.
He talks about that, they don't, but they
Yes.
just don't have any evidence.
And they don't usually do stuff like that unless they're wanting the public to help locate someone or something like that. Maybe they're having trouble finding them to bring in for questioning or whatever. So if they make an announcement like that, there's usually a reason.
Carla agrees with the poor judgment, but you can see the love of his son or love for his son, and I agree 100%.
I think so too.
And if you're new to the channel, you haven't heard me say this, but the old ones will know. I say a lot that we are sitting here watching the stages of grief in real time with Seth, and it's a terribly sad thing to watch. He's got the anger, he's got the denial. There's just you've just watched it all, and it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we should wrap it up because I hear a kid with autism is probably getting ready.
He's probably ready.
He's ready
dinner.
for dinner. So,
Mom
and Dad have to. We've been very lucky that he hasn't run in. Honestly.
Yes, he's been good today.
I know.
I don't know what we'll be doing next. We might be doing another Sebastian episode next. We might be doing what?
Caleb Harris, but
Caleb
I
Harris.
like the idea of doing
a Chris.
Let's just go through like a deep dive into Chris.
Because we really haven't done it, believe it or not. Because we have thought that him coming from Memphis to Nashville and back is not the most likely, but there are signs. I don't know. So maybe we should do that because we haven't done it.
And Solo Sock says, I lost my son. Profile pic. I see grief.
Oh no.
And I'm so sorry for your loss. So sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you, Merge.
But I agree with you. I see grief too. I don't, especially when you go back to those first couple of weeks with Seth. I mean, we just go off our instincts and what we think looks genuine or not. He looked genuine to me, and especially in those first couple of weeks.
Oh, he was devastated.
Yeah, I don't know if you could fake. I don't know if you could fake that.
And there's a lot of people out there saying he's grifting and all this stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an opinion on that. At this point, but I just I do see whatever's going on now. At the core, he's a man that has lost his child and his world because that's all he had.
Yeah,
he had a job and a child.
Yeah,
well, and
his
he
only
moved
son,
here. He moved here to be closer to his child. He took a job down here. I mean, he obviously wanted to be closer to his child, or he would have stayed in California.
He was trying to get custody.
Yeah, and he was trying to get custody and was getting custody of him after school was out. So, you got to kind of think about all those things as well. And he was excited about that. He was excited about him getting more therapy and working at home on his school stuff while he was getting better. And
I if you remember the Bullhorn Betty interview with Seth, especially that first half, he knows that kid's medical, when you hear him talk, this isn't a dad that was checked out on what was going on with his kid. He knew, you could tell he knew the years, what kind of treatments he's had. He was not an absentee dad. He made some mistakes, and I'm not excusing the
No.
things he did or was reported to have done. I mean, you know, those divorce papers and things like that, they're probably half truths or at least shaded.
What do we
you know?
always say? There's 3 sides to every story. There's each side of the person, and then in the middle, the truth.
Yeah, but we have an idea that he probably wasn't great at times, and he seems to have a pretty bad temper also. But that doesn't mean he did anything to his child, you know. And so anyway, I don't know. That's just. What'd you find?
Well, no, I just saw the name Grammar Police, and I am absolutely a huge fan of that person. I love your
violation.
Name. Have we violated? Well, we're talking, so.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we could go through that stuff. There's been a few things that are killing me, like when people call them the proud feet. That is not grammatically correct.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
And I've also seen the proud socks. I've seen a combination.
Well, it's a combo, but proud feet would not be the plural of proud foot.
Right. That was very funny to me. And Grammar Police, I'm so sorry to hear about your child. Also, I can't.
Oh wait, that's Grammar Police is saying it to Solo Socks,
but has also had a loss.
I'll never stop grieving.
She says, "I'll never stop grieving."
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's what she meant there.
Oh, okay.
Or he.
And then also conversate. That's another one that kills me. That's not a word. It's converse.
Yeah, I think grammar. Yeah, but Grammar Police is a
Grammar Police would appreciate those things.
I do like the name.
Okay. Well, I guess I have a few ideas for episodes. So we're going to do the Chris episode. I think we're going to do a Caleb Harris, and then I've got a fun one. I think that
we might do this interview too that we didn't get.
Well,
we'll
do this twice. I think we can lump the interview with the Chris stuff because so much of it focuses on Chris. We could kind of make that our Chris episode.
Yeah, you're right, because it really is all about him. Yeah, you're right. So, well, that's good. Unless we have more breaking news, another lead or sighting. I mean, who knows? Maybe that sighting will be a thing.
That's a good idea.
That would be interesting.
Farmer to win.
Oh, that might take a while though.
Compare CP and K to Don and Candace Wells situation.
Farmer might not realize I don't know. I mean, I know the cursory stuff about Summer. I don't know.
There are some differences in choices they've made, but there are some similarities. Ooh, that's a good topic.
Yes.
That is really because there are some things you could do.
If we were crafty at editing videos, we're not. That's why we do live streams.
Yeah, that's really good. And Summer is an interest. We haven't really, obviously we've only talked about the Sebastian story, but I know a lot of folks that are here are also very invested in Summer, and it's a really interesting story. And I want you to watch that.
Yeah, he wants to get me in real time on that one because I think he knows I'm going to be pretty upset about it.
Oh, okay. So. Maybe we're kind of mapping out the next few.
KJ Mack.
But great suggestion, Farmer to win. I thank you.
Yeah, it's a great one.
So what if
that's a good point.
As soon as Seth is, this is KJ Mack. As soon as Seth is being viewed on a positive light, Chris will come out of the woodwork.
Absolutely. Hi, KJ.
Well, it was good to see Seth come out and do another interview again. So yeah, maybe that will happen.
I agree. Summer and Sebastian need to be found. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm still holding out a lot of hope that Sebastian will be found. And the hope is that he's safe.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are situations where kids have been gone a very long time, and you'd think there's no way these kids are still alive, and then they are, and they escape a captor or something like that. It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. Well, Kylie's nail handy. Okay, I'm getting tired.
How about Kylie's nail candy?
Thank you. Hello from Australia. We were trying to do this so that we could. We seem to have a lot of fans from England, and so we were trying to work it out where they could be here as well. So, or from the UK.
And there's some Australia, and we knew we were going kind of early for Australia. It was trying hard to find the.
You guys are making me just feel really nice. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. I know we're kind of meandering here at this point. We do this. We've got to come up with a good closer. So after we end the video, in the comments, let us know how you think we should close up our stream.
Yeah,
because
we need like a little
we need a catchphrase, like
a little monologue at the end,
or something like "Watch out for the crime dogs," or or
like professional broadcasters, where you have some kind of.
Well, again, we were not expecting people to actually watch us.
We could say true crime is all about poor judgment.
We thought we'd have a year or two of talking to like 20 people.
That's good. That's a good one.
True crime is all about poor judgment.
True crime. It's all about poor judgment.
You're not good at this stuff. Save that to me. I'm better at the phrases. Who do you think came up with this is a case of poor judgment? Who do you think he did that? No. I should put Mrs. E on that mug, not Mystery, because
you had just attributed that quote.
Well, it just looks better. I don't know why. It just looks better. It makes you look wise or something.
Well, thank you again, Olivia. Thank you. And we appreciate you all being here, and we'll be back in a few days.
Thank you for having me.
Don't make them release the dog.
That's good too.
Oh, you guys are great. All right. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Olivia. I'm sorry. I forgot. Thank you, Olivia, for joining us. And guys, go follow Olivia on her channel. Olivia, if you have a second to post that. Before I end the
yes,
stream.
I do.
Olivia is going to start going live soon.
And just since we're hanging on for a second, I'm just going to tell Anna Bernadette what time the thud was. Is what she was asking.
10 p.m.
She changed her story. One time she says it's 10 p.m. One time she says it's 11:30. So we don't know. But that's one of those evolving tales.
Yeah.
I think the latest version is 11:30.
Oh, I like this one. Thanks for a classy time with true crime.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Good one.
That's
I
good.
like that. And I also like Rosebud. Did you see that?
Yes.
Reminds me of our Sicilian.
That's a good one.
Takes like 30 minutes to say goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
like that episode of Friends. I love you. I love you too. I love you. No, I love you more.
Click.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay, we're going to stop talking now, I promise.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for keeping it
Bye.
classy. Bye.